Chapter 181. Snowdrift Peak was considered the most serene among the 8 inner peaks of Taishan sect. However, the other inner peaks were a different story, as the true disciples went crazy trying to break into the top 10 of the true inheritance spirit ranking and secure a spot in the heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb. Especially the disciples in the later stages of the Spirit Sea realm who had the strength to reach the top 10, they were all furiously gathering true transmission points by various means every day. Under the influence of these late-stage Spirit Sea realm disciples, the other true disciples also strived with unmatched effort, causing their true transmission points to skyrocket. The rankings of Taishan sect's true inheritance spirit ranking changed daily. Amidst these changes, Yichun and Zhang Yao, who were focusing on cultivation without actively pursuing true transmission points, saw their rankings plummet rapidly. When more than 10 days passed, Zhang Yao's situation was slightly better. She slid from 3rd to 39th on the ranking, while Yichun had been practicing under Sister Yu ever since he joined Taishan sect and had never specifically sought true transmission points. His true transmission points remained at just over 10,000, which he had obtained during the True Disciple Selection Conference. Yichun's ranking plummeted directly from 28th to 178. When there were only 10 days left before the month was up, Yichun even disappeared from the True Inheritance Spirit ranking, dropping out of the top 300. And Zhang Yao also fell to beyond 100. How come Sister Zhang Yao's ranking has dropped so much? Does she not plan to aim for the top 10 of the spirit ranking and enter the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb? With such a huge opportunity like the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb, is she going to miss it? All true disciples were paying close attention to the spirit ranking, and when they saw Zhang Yao's rank continuously falling, everyone took notice. After all, Zhang Yao was the favorite disciple of Fairy Jialuo, the most powerful figure in Taishan sect, and was also widely recognized as Taishan sect's #1 talent, naturally drawing immense attention. As for Yichun, apart from a few who still remembered him, many people had long forgotten this youth who had shown brilliant talent during the selection of true disciples. After all, since Yichun had joined Taishan sect, he had been very low profile. When there were only 7 days left before the entry to the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb, and also 7 days until the top 10 rankings of the spirit ranking were finalized, on that day Yichun and Zhang Yao, who had completed the training for all 4 sword formations, finally came out of Sister Yu's courtyard. The two planned to temporarily stop their sword formation training and start preparing for entry into the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb. During this time, Yichun's true Qi realm had finally advanced smoothly to the 12th layer, and he now had 12 Grand Gang Yuan true Qi vortices inside his body, giving his true Qi power yet another significant boost. Yichun was fully prepared for the breakthrough to Spirit Sea realm. However, before attempting the Spirit Sea realm, Yichun first planned to challenge for the top 10 of the spirit ranking. While the other true disciples had been madly pursuing the spirit ranking for over 20 days, Yichun and Zhang Yao, as a pair, finally decided to put a stop to their sliding ranks and start their charge at the spirit ranking. The first destination they went to together was one of the 3 major trial sites for earning true transmission points in Taishan sect, the Phantom Beast Tower. The Phantom Beast Tower, a place where Taishan sect's true disciples could enter once a month. Killing phantom beasts within it granted true transmission points, and the more powerful the beasts slain during this one chance, the more points one would earn. This was the most important spot for the sect's true disciples to gain true transmission points, where those ranked higher would widen the gap by earning points particularly within this Phantom Beast Tower. When Yichun and Zhang Yao arrived at the Phantom Beast Tower together, the true disciple in charge of overseeing the trials at the tower unconsciously rubbed his eyes. Sister Zhang Yao. Finally, we see Sister Zhang Yao appear. The day to enter the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb is nearing. Is she finally going to make a push for the spirit ranking? Zhang Yao had been cultivating with Yichun all this time, and others had assumed that she had given up contending for the top 10 of the spirit ranking. Now seeing her appear outside the trial tower, they were naturally surprised. Who is this young man holding hands with disciple Sister Zhang Yao? When this true disciple saw Yichun beside Zhang Yao, he was stunned. Zhang Yao, the girl secretly adored by countless true disciples in the Taishan sect, was actually together with this young man? This true disciple looked at Yi Chun with overwhelming curiosity. Yi Chun and Jiang Yao offered the true disciple a light smile, took the trial nameplates that recorded their trial performances, and then stepped into the Phantom Beast Tower together. The true disciple waited outside. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. The longer the wait, the more shocked the true disciple became. One must understand, in the trials within the Phantom Beast Tower, hunting phantom beasts, if one ultimately faces a life-and-death danger from a phantom beast, the protective nameplate will directly eject them from the Phantom Beast Tower. The longer one stays in the Phantom Beast Tower, the more phantom beasts they have hunted, and the more true transmission points they can obtain. Those who could stay inside the Phantom Beast Tower for 3 hours were without exception the late Spirit Sea Realm disciples of immense power within the Taishan sect. That Jiang Yao could stay for 3 hours didn't surprise this true disciple, but the fact that the young man who came with her, whom he didn't recognize at all, also stayed for 3 hours completely astonished him. Who is this young man? When did such a formidable figure arrive at our Taishan sect? Why have I never seen him come here for trials? True Qi Realm? I can clearly sense that he's at the True Qi Realm. How could he possibly stay such a long time in the trial tower? The true disciple overseeing the Phantom Beast Tower trials became increasingly incredulous as he waited. When he had waited until the 4th hour, he was so shocked he couldn't speak. Being able to stay for 4 hours meant, without a doubt, possessing the strength to take on the top 10 of the Taishan sect spirit ranking. This young man, could he be that powerful? Just as the true disciple was stunned to the point of disbelief, Jiang Yao and Yi Chun were almost simultaneously ejected from the Phantom Beast Tower. When he saw that on their nameplates they had slain thousands of low-grade Great Demon Phantom Beasts, hundreds of mid-grade Great Demon Phantom Beasts, and even over 10 high-grade Great Demon Phantom Beasts, the true disciple was totally dumbfounded. Whoosh! When the true transmission points for hunting phantom beasts were recorded through the trial nameplates into their true disciple tokens, both of their points surged by 70 or 80,000 points at the same time. Boom! In an instant, the true inheritance spirit ranking of all the inner peaks of the Taishan sect lit up, and everyone noticed that 2 names appeared simultaneously in the top 30 positions. When they saw these 2 names, everyone exclaimed, Jiang Yao, disciple sister Jiang Yao has finally made her move. She's returned to the top 30, and has leapt from over 100th place straight to 23rd. And when they saw the name next to Jiang Yao's, everyone was stunned. Yi Chun. Who is this Yi Chun who suddenly climbed to the 29th place? Why does it feel like I've heard this name before? Chapter 182. Challenge to a Duel. True inheritance disciples who had gone to watch the selection conference furrowed their brows in thought as they looked at the name Yi Chun on the true inheritance spirit ranking, wondering, could it be that wondrous youth who seized first place in the true disciple selection? As these true inheritance disciples spoke, others also began to recall where they had heard the name Yi Chun before. The Yi Chun who ranked first in the true disciple selection? I heard he can even subdue high-level demons. Is it really him? I've also heard that Yi Chun has won the affection of junior sister Jiang Yao to the extent that she likes him so much, and he even joined Snowdrift Peak specifically. We haven't heard from him in this period. Is he the one who has stormed into the top 30 of the spirit ranking? The number of true inheritance disciples gathering under the various inner peaks true inheritance spirit rankings was increasing. In the breaks between acquiring true transmission points, what they cared about the most were the changes to the rankings. Now that Yi Chun and Jiang Yao had suddenly burst into the top 30 of the true inheritance spirit ranking, they drew the attention and speculation of many. While these true inheritance disciples were guessing Yi Chun's identity, both Yi Chun and Jiang Yao, having completed the Phantom Beast Tower trial, were on their way to the second trial location, Lingmang Mountain. When, after an hour, the two emerged from the trial at Lingmang Mountain, all of the true inheritance disciples who were watching the true inheritance spirit ranking noticed that the names Yi Chun and Jiang Yao had simultaneously made a leap forward in the ranks. Jiang Yao had successfully broken into 14th place from 23rd, while Yi Chun had shot up from the 29th to the 16th position. Seeing such rapid progress and considerable advancement of their ranks, all the true inheritance disciples came to a realization. It must be that Yi Chun, the simultaneous rise in their ranks, and by such a large margin too, Must be because they are taking on the 3 grand trials. My God, the higher you aim on the spirit ranking, the harder it gets. To go from the 20s to the teens shows that they must have achieved some of the most top-tier results in these grand trials. Junior sister Jiang Yao being strong is one thing, but is that Yi Chun really that powerful? Which of the 3 grand trial locations are they challenging next? The Phantom Beast Tower, Lingmang Mountain, or the illusory martial battle pool? Their ranking has changed twice already, meaning they have completed trials at 2 locations. They must be heading to the 3rd and final location. We have to go see. As numerous true inheritance disciples paid close attention, news spread from both the Phantom Beast Tower and Lingmang Mountain. The 2 who had undertaken the trials were none other than Jiang Yao and Yi Chun from Snowdrift Peak. They entered the trials together and left together. In every trial, their performance was nothing short of outstanding. Upon hearing this news, all of the true inheritance disciples could hardly contain their desire to meet this Yi Chun, who had managed to astonish them repeatedly without even seeing him face to face. They all wanted to meet the youth who had captured the heart of the breathtakingly beautiful Jiang Yao, whom so many adored. Eventually, even the truly powerful true inheritance disciples ranked in the top 10 of the Taishan sect spirit ranking were stirred by the significant changes in the rankings. Apart from some true inheritance disciples who were still undergoing sect trials or who were out on missions, all the disciples started heading toward the 3rd trial location, the illusory martial battle pool. Even the Taishan sect elders who had not watched the true disciple selection were flocking towards the illusory martial battle pool. The illusory martial battle pool, nestled amidst the clouds at the center of Snowdrift Peak's 8 inner peaks. This trial location was one of the 3 major trial sites, alongside the Phantom Beast Tower and Lingmang Mountain. Similarly, each true inheritance disciple also only had the opportunity to enter the battle pool once a month. The trial at the illusory martial battle pool involved battling against 99 illusory martial war elephants remaining in the pool, ranging from ordinary ones within the true Qi realm to those in the late stages of the spirit Sea realm, and even half-step core-melting illusory martial war elephants. The more illusory martial war elephants you defeat, the more true transmission points you receive. This trial location, in the frantic rush to accumulate true transmission points over the past 20 days, had seen nearly all of the true inheritance disciples use up their monthly opportunity already. As those true inheritance disciples eager to witness Yi Chun in person arrived around the illusory martial battle pool, Yi Chun and Jiang Yao had already entered the mists above the pool and officially commenced their battles against the 99 illusory martial war elephants. The scene of the battle within the illusory martial battle pool was not visible from the outside. Everyone could only wait. Their wait was not in vain. After half an hour had passed, everyone saw a young man and woman ascending out of the illusory martial battle pool. The girl was dressed in a snow-white pleated skirt, her waterfall-like hair cascading to her waist, with a pale, delicate face radiating otherworldly beauty. The slight dimples that appeared with her small smile and her dazzling, starry eyes exuded an intoxicating charm. Jiang Yao. Seeing the girl, everyone's mind echoed with her name. Countless gazes then turned to the boy beside her, and upon seeing the miraculous silver wind and thunder wings behind him, his calm, smiling face, and those bright, expressive black eyes, everyone was struck inwardly. Was this that Yi Chun? The Yi Chun who astonished everyone at the true disciple selection? The Yi Chun who had won Jiang Yao's affection and stayed by her side all this time? Seeing the throngs of people who had swarmed the outside of the illusory martial battle pool, Yi Chun and Jiang Yao, who had just flown out, were also slightly taken aback. After exchanging light smiles with the curious-looking true inheritance disciples and elders, they proceeded to the true transmission point exchange area of the illusory martial battle pool. Chapter 183. At this moment, everyone's gaze turned to a giant list suspended in the sky above the illusory martial battle pool. It was none other than the true inheritance spirit ranking. Just like the spirit ranking of the 8 great inner peaks, this trial area also had its spirit ranking displayed high above. In this 3rd trial, can Jiang Yao and Yi Chun both surge into the top 10? If they can reach the top 10 after 3 trials, it means they have achieved the most outstanding results in all 3 trials. Everyone fixed their eyes on the true inheritance spirit ranking, their breaths tightening slightly. In the stares of all, the entire true inheritance spirit ranking emitted an endless golden radiance. The golden radiance was something that would only appear when someone broke into the top 10 of the spirit ranking. It was within expectations for Jiang Yao to fight her way back into the top 10. But this Yi Chun, could he truly be a peerless genius, managing to break into the top 10 upon his first completion of all 3 major trials? All eyes were on the true inheritance spirit ranking. Amidst the brilliance of the golden light, everyone saw the name, Jiang Yao, written in the 3rd position on the list. And looking further, everyone was shocked to the core. Following the 3rd position, in 4th place, was the name Yi Chun shining brightly. Not only had Jiang Yao entered the 3rd place of the true inheritance spirit ranking, but Yi Chun had also reached the 4th. In the sky, the elders and the strongest contenders of the spirit ranking glanced at the true inheritance spirit ranking, their eyes bursting with intense light. 1 day's time. Yi Chun and Jiang Yao had used just 1 day to pass through the 3 trial grounds and made their way into the top 10 of the spirit ranking. Not only into the top 10, but they also secured the 3rd and 4th exceptional positions on the spirit ranking. Ahead of them were only the 2 half-step rotating pill powerhouses, Jin Liang and Xuejia. Moreover, the only reason these 2 half-step rotating pill powerhouses could lead was not merely because they had finished the trials of the 3 major trial grounds but had also accumulated true transmission points through other sect missions. In contrast, Yi Chun and Jiang Yao's comeback relied entirely on the true transmission points from the 3 major trial grounds. This indicated that given more time to complete sect missions and gather true transmission points, it was not impossible for them to contend with the 2 half-step rotating pill powerhouses on the true inheritance spirit ranking. Powerful! Yi Chun and Jiang Yao are really too strong. No wonder they didn't make a push for the spirit ranking earlier. Only at the last moment did they strike, with the absolute strength to enter the spirit ranking. Because they have such overwhelming power, they didn't panic and were able to take a sure spot in the top 10 at the very last moment, seizing the qualifications to enter the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb. In the midst of all the astonishment, everyone looked towards Yi Chun and Jiang Yao as they emerged from the true transmission point exchange area of the illusory martial battle pool. The majority of their gazes, especially, were concentrated on Yi Chun. Many beautiful female true disciples, even without realizing it, began to look at Yi Chun with a hint of affection. Who wouldn't admire a powerful person? What young girl wouldn't fancy a strong young man? If it weren't for Jiang Yao by Yi Chun's side, these female disciples might have even flown over to Yi Chun to make his acquaintance.
Yi Chun.
I have never seen Yi Chun make a move, yet he has fought his way to such heights. He has broken into these rankings on the true inheritance spirit ranking. I'd really like to spar with him to see just what martial skill he has cultivated, to see what makes him extraordinary. Such thoughts rose in the hearts of countless true disciples. At this moment, several late-stage Linghai powerhouses standing in the sky could no longer hold back and swoosh, 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 flew toward Yi Chun in succession. Yi Chun, to achieve the 4th rank on the true inheritance spirit ranking with the 3 trials, I have great respect for your strength. I, Wang Mao, challenge you on the true inheritance fighting platform. The speaker was a youth dressed in the robes of Qingzhou Peak, one of the 8 great inner peaks of the Taishan sect. Upon seeing this youth, many true disciples exclaimed, "It's Wang Mao, ranked 7th on the true inheritance spirit ranking. He has finally lost his patience and is initiating a challenge to Yi Chun." Following Wang Mao's declaration, several other late-stage Linghai realm powerhouses who had flown to Yi Chun's side also spoke up. I, Zhao Xian, also challenge you. Brother Yi Chun, I, Chun Xing, wish to fight with you too. And I, Lu Yuan. Buzz. Discussions erupted once more. Zhao Xian ranked 8th on the true inheritance spirit ranking. Chun Xing 6th. Lu Yuan 5th. They are all challenging Yi Chun. Heaven. As expected, the powerhouses all have their pride. I can't wait to see Yi Chun's skills. These masters can't contain themselves anymore. In the midst of countless murmurs, Yi Chun turned to look at the youths who had issued the challenges. He had heard from Zhang Yao that there was a tradition of challenge on the true inheritance fighting platform among the true disciples of the Taishan sect, where one only challenges another on the platform if they truly acknowledge the opponent's strength. Clearly, Yi Chen's abilities had won the recognition of these spirit-ranking powerhouses, and they were ready to truly cross hands with him. A duel invitation? Naturally, Yi Chen would not refuse. He feared no battle. Why not? Then let it be tomorrow, on the true inheritance fighting platform. Yi Chen will exchange moves with you all, Yi Chen said with a light smile, looking at them and agreeing without hesitation. Boom! Yi Chen's words excited the onlooking true disciples, who began to scream with enthusiasm. A battle among the top 10 fighters on the spirit ranking was a rare sight indeed. Awesome! Brother Yi Chen, we haven't met before, but just for your straightforwardness, I've decided you're a friend worth making. The challenging spirit-ranking powerhouses all smiled. Boom! As Yi Chen was speaking with the spirit-ranking powerhouses, suddenly, the sky darkened as if black clouds had swept across, dimming the heavens in an instant. Everyone looked up to the sky and was taken aback to see that a youth in black had appeared out of nowhere. Xuejia! It's the half-step rotating pill powerhouse Xuejia, the formidable figure who's ranked second on the true inheritance spirit ranking. He's here too. Could it be that he's here for Yi Chen, too? Upon seeing the youth in black, many true disciples shouted in surprise. A half-step rotating pill powerhouse? Yi Chen, hearing the exclamations of the true disciples beside him, also looked towards the youth in black. As Yi Chen's gaze met with that of the youth in black, Xuejia, the latter, holding a sword, spoke indifferently, yet his voice enveloped the entire area of the illusory martial battle pool. Yi Chen, I've heard you're quite formidable. I, Xuejia, also issue a challenge to you. Do you dare accept the challenge? Xuejia's words surprised not only the onlooking true disciples but also the elders. To know a half-step rotating pill powerhouse was nearly an invincible existence below the rotating pill realm. Such a figure was also challenging Yi Chen? Upon hearing Xuejia's challenge to Yi Chen, Zhang Yao tightened her grip on Yi Chen's hand, worried for him. At that moment, Yi Chen squeezed Zhang Yao's hand reassuringly and gave her a comforting look. Then, as calmly as he faced the spirit-ranking powerhouses earlier, he looked up at the youth in black in the sky and said with a faint smile, "Why should I not dare?"
Chapter 184 Martial Combat.
What's there not to dare? This casual remark, landing among those present, caused everyone to open their mouths in shock. Yi Chen, what an imposing manner. The challenges from several late Spirit Sea realm powerhouses that had come before were reasonable for Yi Chen to accept. After all, he was the formidable figure who had risen to fourth on the spirit ranking and was the genius youth who had miraculously overpowered high-ranking demons during the True Inheritance Disciple Selection Assembly. Against these late Spirit Sea realm powerhouses, everyone acknowledged he had the strength. But Xuejia, he was no ordinary person. His cultivation had reached the half-step rotating pill realm. A half-step rotating pill powerhouse was not just a little bit stronger than a late Spirit Sea realm powerhouse who had not yet broken through to the rotating pill realm. They were absolutely not on the same level of strength. In martial arts cultivation, martial artists live much longer than ordinary people. It's common for Spirit Sea realm powerhouses to live several hundred years, and those in the rotating pill realm can even surpass 1,000 years. Although Xuejia appeared young among martial artists, those true disciples who knew him were aware that it had been over 30 years since he had stepped into the Spirit Sea realm, and he had already been a half-step rotating pill powerhouse for a decade after failing to break through to the rotating pill realm. He mastered numerous powerful martial skills, and it was said he had mastered several Earth-grade mid-tier martial skills. Aside from Jin Liang, who was ranked first on the True Inheritance Spirit ranking and was also a half-step rotating pill powerhouse, there was no news of any true disciple daring to battle with him. And yet, Yi Chen casually accepted this challenge so calmly. Yi Chen actually dared to face off against a half-step rotating pill powerhouse. This caused all those present to find Yi Chen's strength even more elusive. In the sky, hearing Yi Chen accept the challenge, Shuejia's eyes sparkled with fervor. Good, Yi-chan. Then I will observe your battles with the others tomorrow first. If you can't secure victory in those fights, then you're not worth fighting against me. I hope you have the strength to battle me. Boom! Within the resounding voice of Shuejia, the dark clouds that shrouded the sky suddenly shifted, and Shuejia disappeared from the sky. Mystical power. Although Shuejia had not stepped into the rotating pill realm, his attainment of the half-step rotating pill clearly granted him some strangely formidable mystical powers. A rushing true chi traversal technique. Huh? Yi-chan fixed his gaze on the place where Shuejia vanished, eyeing the traces of true chi fluctuations in the void that were nearly imperceptible to most, until these true chi fluctuations vanished completely. I just don't know, when we truly battle, whether this technique can still elude my sword formation. Yi-chan's eyes also released a fighting intent. Having undergone arduous training within Taishan sect for over 2 months, the time had arrived to test the results of his cultivation. After completing the trials at the 3 trial grounds, Yi-chan, together with Zhang Yao, broke into the top 10 of the True Inheritance Spirit ranking, and accepted challenges from several spirit ranking powerhouses and even a half-step rotating pill powerhouse. The battles would take place tomorrow on the True Inheritance battle platform. When this news spread throughout Taishan sect, everybody on all the 8 great inner peaks heard the news.
Yi-chan.
The young man who shone brightly during the True Inheritance selection assembly. It seems he has made significant progress during this time. The peak masters and elders of the various inner peaks, especially those strong figures who had witnessed Yi-chan's performance at the True Inheritance Disciple Selection Assembly, looked through the mountain peaks of Taishan sect towards Snowdrift Peak and murmured to themselves. In the end, the gaze of these peak masters and elders all turned towards the area of Taishan sect's True Inheritance battle platform. Tomorrow's true martial battle is definitely worth watching. Atop Snowdrift Peak, within Snowdrift Residence. Fairy Jialuo, dressed in white palace robes and meditating, held a sound transmission talisman in her hand and slowly opened her eyes. A faint smile appeared in her eyes. Having been quiet for so long, Yi-chan finally can't hold back and is about to burst forth again. I too wish to see the fruits of his cultivation with little Rain Girl. While the strong figures of the various peaks remained calm and composed, the true disciples of the entire 8 great inner peaks had completely lost their minds. The true martial battle platform, true martial battles, and those involving the front-runners on the True Inheritance Spirit ranking battles related to a half-step rotating pill powerhouse. This event is so grand that even those who have cultivated at the inner peak for many years hardly encounter it. Who would have thought that right when the selection for the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb is about to end, such a high-caliber martial battle would take place? And one of the main protagonists of this True Inheritance martial battle is actually Yi-chan, who has only been at Inner Peak for just over 2 months. Everyone could hardly wait for the day to pass quickly, and for the True Inheritance martial battle to arrive. Even the True Inheritance disciples who were out on sect missions rushed back upon hearing the news. Such a martial battle, of course, they wouldn't miss. Amidst the anticipation and attention of countless people, a day quietly passed by. Early the next morning, at the True Martial Battle platform located outside the inner peak of the 3 Taishan sect elders, the place was already packed with people, and more were continuously flying to the void outside the battle platform. The True Martial Battle platform is a colossal battle platform suspended in the void, its length and width both exceeding 1,000 zhong, and it shimmered with an inexplicable brilliance in the void. This is where the True Inheritance disciples of the Taishan sect conduct their martial battles, to determine who is superior. After less than half an hour, nearly all the True Inheritance disciples had already arrived at the True Martial Battle area. The True Inheritance disciples from the 8 great inner peaks gathered together, with Zhang Yao and the sword-backed girl Channer among them in the Snowdrift Peak area. For this True Inheritance martial battle, so Yi-chan could prepare in peace, Zhang Yao didn't disturb him. Instead, she waited for Yi-chan directly at the True Inheritance battle platform. Among the True Inheritance disciples of Snowdrift Peak, even the rarely seen elder sister Yu was there. She stood beside Zhang Yao, also quietly waiting for the True Inheritance martial battle to begin. The Spirit Sea Realm True Inheritance disciples stood in the void, the The true essence realm true inheritance disciples rode on flying beasts. Everyone was waiting for the true inheritance martial battle to begin. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. In the gaze of countless waiting figures, for silhouettes flew out from the four inner peaks, their powerful escaping lights like shooting stars thunderously approaching above the true martial battle platform. As the escaping light dispersed, these figures revealed themselves. Zhao Xian ranked 8th on the true inheritance spirit list. Wang Mao ranked 7th. Chun Xing ranked 6th. And Lu Yuan ranked 5th. As if by agreement, these four arrived at the true martial battle platform almost simultaneously. They're here. The appointed time for the battle is about to come, and the true inheritance martial battle is finally about to start. The arrival of these four powerful figures on the spirit list was like a flaming fireball dropped into boiling water. The countless warrior spectators around the true martial battle area instantly ignited with passion. Boom! Just then, a black cloud dashed through the void above and upon dispersing, revealed the figure of Xuejia. As a half-step rotating pill expert, Xuejia also arrived at the scene. Although Xuejia was just quietly sitting cross-legged in the void beside the true martial battle platform, everyone could feel a powerful aura being released, making the entire sky seem dimmer because of this aura. After Xuejia arrived at the true martial battle area, the four spirit list powerhouses Zhao Xian, Wang Mao, Chun Xing, and Lu Yuan who had flown in, as well as the half-step rotating pill expert, Xuejia, all looked in the direction of Snowdrift Peak's void, waiting for something. All the observing true inheritance disciples' gazes also turned towards Snowdrift Peak. They certainly knew whom these five were waiting for. I hope I am not late. In the expectant eyes of countless people, suddenly, a figure soared out from Snowdrift Peak. This figure, 15 or 16 years old, with any traces of childishness long gone from the delicate face, replaced by a self-confident and vivacious spirit. His figure was slender, and the silver-white wings stretching several zhang behind him beat slowly, giving him a strange air that belied his youth. When they saw the figure flying out from Snowdrift Peak, the blood of countless true inheritance disciples in the true inheritance martial battle area boiled over, and they cheered and screamed. The most important protagonist of this true inheritance martial battle, Yi Chun, had finally arrived. Chapter 185 Unparalleled. Whoosh! Amidst the blood-boiling cheers and screams of countless true disciples, the wind-thunder wings on Yi Chen's back suddenly unfolded completely, stretching to an enormous span of over 12 meters. As the Gang Yuan True Qi flickered across the giant wings, Yi Chun shot towards the true inheritance battle platform. Almost in a matter of breaths, everyone felt a flash of silver light streak across the void, and Yi Chun traversed the several thousand zhang distance between Snowdrift Peak and the true martial battle platform, arriving above the platform to face several of the spirit-ranking powerhouses. What incredible speed! These wings! The agility is so fast. It's heaven. It's not in the least bit inferior to the escapist speed of late-stage Spirit Sea practitioners. This was Yi Chen's first display of power within Taishan Sect's inner peaks, and for many of the people from the inner peak, it was also the first time they had witnessed Yi Chen's combat skills. Yi Chen's first move had shocked countless people. I'd heard that Yi Chun was no ordinary true Qi realm cultivator, and indeed, he possesses powerful true Qi and martial techniques. True Qi realm fighting against late-stage Spirit Sea. That's crazy. I have never heard of such a marvel. Given his agility, he might actually stand a chance against these major spirit-ranking fighters. The countless true disciples who were spectating outside the true martial battle platform started whispering among themselves. In the Snowdrift Peak area, next to Jiang Yao, the sword-carrying maiden Channer's eyes were brimming with disbelief. Sister Jiang Yao, it has only been a few months since we last met, but Yi Chun has become this powerful? Such fast agility. That must be a top-tier Xian rank technique at least. Channer's last encounter with Yi Chun was at Qingyun Sect's Mountain Gate Plaza. At that time, Yi Chun had defeated a disciple from Tianluo Sect, who was at the 10th level of the True Qi realm, while himself being at the 6th level. That alone had made Channer incredulous. But the young girl could never have imagined that in just half a year without seeing him, Yi Chen's strength had improved to the point where he could battle late-stage cultivators of the Spirit Sea realm. It wasn't just Chon'er who was screaming. Many of the true disciple maidens from Snowdrift Peak who were seeing Yi Chen in action for the first time started screaming excitedly. Yi Chen came from Snowdrift Peak, and his strength made the maidens incredibly thrilled. Amid Chon'er's screams, Jiang Yao's clear eyes were fixed entirely on Yi Chen. Others only saw Yi Chen's strength, but Jiang Yao knew the immense hardship Yi Chen had endured to reach this level. To fulfill the pledge of Taishan, Yi Chen had fought fiercely in the clan competition, entered his family's ancestral secret grounds, faced numerous trials, and ventured into the treacherous ancient God Tower. Climbing step by step, taking advantage of the opportunities presented by the flow of time, he cultivated layer by layer, defeating countless formidable opponents to reach higher ground. He was still striving relentlessly and continuing to grow stronger. Yi Chen, you've always been hardworking, which is why you're so formidable. I know this well, Jiang Yao murmured, gazing at Yi Chen. In the spectating area outside the arena, amid the shock and screams, the several individuals on the True Inheritance battle platform looked at Yi Chen's agility, and a glint sparked in their eyes. Xue Jia from the half-step rotating pill realm managed it a bit better than the others, but Zhao Xian, Wang Mao, Chen Xing, and Lu Yuan's expressions turned extremely solemn when they looked towards Yi Chen again. Then, Yi Chen, who had landed on the True Inheritance battle platform, looked at Zhao Xian and the others and asked with a light smile, "Which of you will come forward first to fight?" Yi Chen had not set his sights on Xue Jia. Xue Jia, from the half-step rotating pill realm, had already said that he would only make a move if Yi Chen could defeat these four. What Yi Chen intended to do first was to battle with these four men. Although Yi Chen had once suppressed a high-level fierce giant firebird on Sky Extreme Cliff, he had never actually crossed hands with a late-stage Spirit Sea realm expert. These four men, Zhao Xian was the 8th on the True Disciple Spirit ranking, Wang Mao the 7th, Chen Xing the 6th, and Lu Yuan the 5th. They were all famously late-stage Spirit Sea masters from Taishan sect. Facing these four men, Yi Chen also felt his fighting spirit surge. After exchanging glances, Zhao Xian, who was wearing the True Disciple's robe of Huayun Peak, one of the 8 great inner peaks, stepped forward. "I rank the lowest on the True Disciple's spirit ranking, so let me go first." Just as Zhao Xian stepped forward, in the even higher expanse of the void unseen by all true disciples, more than a dozen figures suddenly began to converse. These dozen figures were none other than the Peak Masters, Elders, and other rotating Pill Realm powerhouses of Taishan sect. Even though these rotating Pill Realm powerhouses did not make a direct appearance, they were all observing the True Disciple martial contest from the void. "Jia Luo, Zhao Xian is my Huayun Peak's top True Disciple. Though Yi Chen previously suppressed a high-level fierce beast, there is still quite a difference between a fierce beast and a truly powerful genius martial artist. Can your Peak's Yi Chen really fight with Zhao Xian?" spoke the Peak Master of Huayun Peak. In the midst of the rotating Pill Realm powerhouses lay the Shenzi, Jia Luo, who wore a snow-white palace dress and was sitting cross-legged. At the moment, Jia Luo Shenzi, with her gaze piercing through the spatial barrier, turned her attention to the True Inheritance battle platform below. She smiled lightly. "I'm afraid it's not only Zhao Xian, but the other few might not be Yi Chen's match either. Yi Chen's real opponent should be that Xue Jia." "Xue Jia? Half-step rotating pill? Has Yi Chen really become so strong?" one of the elders said incredulously. "Just watch. Everything will be clear very soon." Jia Luo Xianzi didn't say much more, instead directing all her attention to the platform below. Seeing Jia Luo Xianzi cease to speak, the other rotating Pill Realm powerhouses also turned their gaze to the battle unfolding below on the platform. Boom! As Zhao Xian stood forward, the others left the platform to prepare to watch the battle from the periphery. On the True Inheritance battle platform, only Yi Chen and Zhao Xian remained, standing 100 zhang apart, facing each other. "Yi Chen, I am the true inheritor of Fire Cloud Peak, and my cultivation method is mainly based on fire-based techniques. I hope to integrate with the fire laws when I step into the rotating pill realm in the future. Fire-based techniques are incredibly powerful," You need to be cautious, Zhao Xian said, slowly looking towards Yi Chen. Yi Chen smiled and nodded. He didn't say much, simply replying, Brother Zhao Xian, make your move. Good. Since our battle is but the first, let's not delay any further. As Zhao Xian spoke, his hands fiercely clenched in the air, and instantly, 100 meters high surge of azure true qi burst forth from his body. Boom! 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 In the moment when the true qi was stirred from within, Zhao Xian formed a strange spell with his hands. In an instant, flames flickered on the surging azure true qi. Moments later, the true qi turned into a vast expanse of fiery red in the sky, densely packed with giant palm prints. Each gigantic fiery red palm print was several tens of feet in diameter. With probably 70 to 80 of these dense fiery red palm prints, they rained down from the sky and furiously slapped towards Yi Chen. Sky-burning giant handprint. This is Zhao Xian's powerful Shen-tier superior combat skill. Combined with his unmatched true qi from the later stages of the Spirit Sea Realm, each sky-burning giant handprint could easily slay a mid-Spirit Sea Realm expert. With 70 to 80 palm prints launched simultaneously, even late Spirit Sea Realm warriors would struggle to withstand them. Zhao Xian's move is a fierce killing technique. How will Yi Chen defend against it? Everyone looked towards Yi Chen, who was completely engulfed by the sky-burning giant handprints, and when they shifted their gaze to Yi Chen, they saw a faint smile on his face. Facing the terrifying sky-burning giant handprints, Yi Chen actually revealed a smile? As this thought emerged in everyone's minds, Yi Chen, who stood in the void, lightly pointed his finger. At that moment, countless swords of true qi shot out in front of him. These swords of true qi shimmered with 18 kinds of mystical sword intents. As they formed, the swords of true qi vanished from sight. The next instant, the swords of true qi suddenly appeared before the vast fiery red palm prints. Almost in the blink of an eye, these swords of true qi tore into the vast fiery red palm prints, shocking everyone to find that the once terrifying palm prints, capable of easily killing mid-Spirit Sea Realm experts, exploded upon contact with the myriad swords of true qi. The sky-burning giant handprints had no resistance whatsoever against these swords of true qi. What kind of technique is this? Could it be even more powerful than a Shen-tier superior technique? Many true disciples exclaimed in astonishment. In the field, warriors who practiced sword techniques saw the numerous sword intents flickering within these swords of true qi, and all were thunderstruck. A sword formation. This is comparable to an Earth-tier combat skill. Yi Chen has actually mastered a sword formation. These warriors were not mistaken. The killing move executed by Yi Chen was indeed one of the 4 great sword formations he had cultivated from Sister Yu over the past 2 months. The Hidden Wind Sword Formation. The Hidden Wind Sword Formation, possessing the 2nd-level sword intents of Instantaneous Flash and Coiling Slaughter, along with 16 first-level sword intents, was supremely powerful. Mere Shen-tier superior combat skills like the sky-burning giant handprint, of course, could not compare. After shattering all of the sky-burning giant handprints in an instant, the swords of true qi vanished once again, reappearing in the next moment in front of Zhao Xian. The Hidden Wind Sword Formation's might was not yet expended. Striking at Zhao Xian once more, Zhao Xian didn't expect Yi Chen's counterattack to be so swift and mighty. As his eyes sparkled, his body once again swept out boundless true qi. In a flash, it transformed into a fiery red cyclone that enveloped him, lunging at the Hidden Wind Sword Formation. Boom! 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 The fiery red cyclone and the Hidden Wind Sword Formation exploded into a frenzy upon contact. While Zhao Xian focused all his attention on defending against the Hidden Wind Sword Formation, he was suddenly horrified to find a figure piercing through his protective fiery red cyclone, like a fierce human-shaped beast, landing directly within the cyclone before him. This figure, surrounded by tremendous silver true qi and golden light, had hair that flew wildly in the surging true qi. It was Yi Chen. Since this was only the first battle, Yi Chen certainly wouldn't waste too much time on Zhao Xian. As he deployed the Hidden Wind Sword Formation, he also executed the 9 Transformation Fighting Body. breaking through Zhao Xian's defenses and arriving directly before him. Then, Yi Chun reached out to grab Zhao Xian, swiftly shattering Zhao Xian's protective true chi flames, with 2 fingers stopping just inches away from Zhao Xian's neck. A mere push further, and Yi Chen's 2 fingers would completely pierce through Zhao Xian's neck. This caused everyone to cry out in shock. None had expected Zhao Xian, ranked 8th on the True Inheritance Spirit ranking, to be completely outmatched just after engaging Yi Chun. Clearly, Zhao Xian was no match for Yi Chun. Thump! Yi Chun did not pierce through Zhao Xian's neck. This was but a competition, not a battle to the death. Naturally, he wouldn't take Zhao Xian's life. According to the rules of the True Inheritance martial confrontation, defeating Zhao Xian by knocking him out of the battle platform was enough to claim victory. Yi Chun simply flicked his fingers gently, and a tremendous force flung Zhao Xian out dozens of feet, tumbling wildly along with his fiery red cyclone across the True Inheritance battle platform. Finally, with a thud, Zhao Xian, utterly powerless to resist, crashed down outside of the battle platform. Chapter 186: The Real Outbreak. Whoosh! This result caused everyone watching outside the arena to stand up. Countless true disciples had their mouths wide open, utterly disbelieving. How many moves was that? Yi Chun had directly defeated Zhao Xian, who was ranked 8th in the spirit ranking. This. Many were at a loss for words to express the shock in their hearts. Hundreds of zhong above the True Inheritance battle platform. In the void, the master of Fire Cloud Peak was also full of astonishment. It's been just over 2 months since the selection for true disciples. Has Yi Chun improved again? Sword formation. He has actually learned the art of sword formation in these 2 months. And his special true chi has also undergone another qualitative improvement. Although Yi Chen's defeat of Zhao Xian was partly due to Zhao's carelessness, as rotating pill realm powerhouses in the void, they could see more clearly than anyone. Even if Zhao Xian had been extremely cautious, or even if he had delayed for a bit longer, he would have been genuinely defeated by Yi Chun. Zhao Xian at this level was no longer a match for Yi Chun. Prodigy. A true prodigy. Jia Luo, you found a great seedling for our Taishan sect. With Yi Chen's speed of cultivation, as long as he can continue to grow, he will completely be on par with the geniuses of the 3 great dynasties' major sects in the central region. He can even compare with those hidden ancient clan geniuses. Could it be that our Taishan sect will also produce a heaven-defying genius? The peak masters and elders were all overjoyed. Another peak master said, "Growth. I hope Yi Chun can continue to grow. With his current strength, he probably really can exchange blows with a half-step rotating pill now." Next, only the battle between Xuejia and Yi Chun will truly be meaningful. Fight a half-step rotating pill? Many elders felt a chill in their hearts. I'm afraid it's still not possible. Defeating Zhao Xian and a few others is feasible, but defeating a half-step rotating pill, now that's truly difficult. Fairy Jia Luo at this moment also looked at Yi Chun below more seriously, because she knew that with such a performance from Yi Chun, that half-step rotating pill disciple, Xuejia, would definitely be unable to hold back. Sure enough, on the True Inheritance battle platform in the void, when Yi Chun knocked Zhao Xian off the platform and the crowd erupted, Wang Mao, Chen Xing, and Lu Yuan, all their complexions changed greatly. The 3 of them had a bit more strength than Zhao Xian, but they also couldn't defeat Zhao Xian as quickly as Yi Chun did. The strength displayed by Yi Chun even gave them the feeling as if they were facing a half-step rotating pill powerhouse. As the 3 were hesitating over who should fight next, Xuejia, who had been waiting at the side of the True Inheritance battle platform in the void, moved. He appeared on the platform in an instant. "I'll do it." Landing on the True Inheritance battle platform, Xuejia directly spoke out. Seeing Xuejia directly step past the 3 and face Yi Chun, all the watching true disciples screamed. Half-step rotating pill. Xuejia, who has reached the half-step rotating pill realm, finally can't hold back and is making his move. Many true disciples came to watch precisely to see Xuejia, a half-step rotating pill, in action. Now that Yi Chun had just defeated a spirit-ranking powerhouse and forced Xuejia to step up, it naturally made countless people excitedly scream. Even if Yi Chun was strong, facing Xuejia, he would probably not fare well. They were finally going to witness a real grand battle. In the Snowdrift Peak area, when Yi Chun defeated Zhao Xian, all the female disciples of Snowdrift Peak were overjoyed. But when Xuejia arrived at the battle platform, the excitement on the faces of the female disciples came to a halt. As one of the only two half-step rotating pill disciples of the Taishan sect, the female disciples of Snowdrift Peak naturally recognized Xuejia, and they were aware of his strength. In the entire true disciple rank, only the ever-dominant Jin Liang, who topped the spirit ranking, could suppress Xuejia. All the female disciples understood even better that with Xuejia's strength as a half-step rotating pill, even if he could not step into the rotating pill realm, once he left the sect, he would definitely become a formidable figure. Such a person was about to battle Yi Chun, naturally causing them to worry greatly about him. Yi Chun. Among the female disciples, Zhang Yao's eyes were already full of concern. A half-step rotating pill was too powerful. Given some more time, Zhang Yao believed that Yi Chun would definitely be able to defeat a half-step rotating pill, but now, in terms of cultivation time, Yi Chun was still at a huge disadvantage. The half-step rotating pill, Xuejia. You, who came to the True Inheritance battle area to watch, also became serious. When I stepped into the late Spirit Sea realm, he was already a half-step rotating pill powerhouse. Moreover, I heard that he has cultivated an Earth-grade intermediate cultivation technique. Yi Chun has not yet cultivated my 5th and 6th sword formations. To deal with Xuejia, he will probably suffer a great disadvantage in terms of martial skills. Amidst everyone's worries, Yi Chun looked at Xuejia, who had come up to the battle platform. His gaze also became serious. "Brother Xuejia, you finally decided to make a move," Yi Chun said to Xuejia with a faint smile. "Although I don't know if I can defeat you, I will fight with all my strength. I hope you, too, will use all your strength." Whoosh! Yi Chen's words once again stirred everyone up. Certainly, from Yi Chen's words, it could be heard that even he wasn't sure he could defeat Xuejia. But even so, Yi Chun did not hesitate to agree to the bout with Xuejia, and he even asked Xuejia to fight with full force. This showed that Yi Chun wanted to experience a true grand battle. Everyone began to applaud Yi Chun in their hearts for his words. Fearless before the strong. No excuses to shrink back and evade. Even in defeat, to be bested only by absolute strength. This is the true temperament of a genius. This is why Yi Chun could always grow stronger and continue to ascend. By daring to engage in combat, one can travel further. Even Zhao Xian, who had been knocked off the True Inheritance battle platform by Yi Chun and had flown back into the fray, began to hold Yi Chun in even higher esteem for his fearless demeanor in the face of Xuejia. Wang Mao, Chun Xing, and Lu Yuan couldn't help but smile bitterly. "Yi Chun, we are far inferior to you in terms of sheer boldness. In the previous moment, we didn't even dare to make a move to challenge him. Yet here he is, nonchalantly facing Xuejia. We truly feel ashamed. Regardless of whether Yi Chun wins or loses against Xuejia. This time, Yi Chun, you have earned our admiration." In the midst of the True Inheritance battle platform, when Xuejia heard Yi Chun asking him to go all out, a glint flashed in his eyes, and he laughed heartily. "All right, Yi Chun, I will go all out. I hope you will do the same." Boom! As Xuejia spoke, without any movement from him, a towering inferno over 300 meters high suddenly burst forth from around his body. This massive inferno, formed entirely of true qi, somehow weaved within it the essence of thunder and lightning as it billowed ferociously. Such tremendous true qi, such strange essence. None of the Spirit Sea realm disciples had ever seen it from another of their rank. This was what only a warrior who had attempted the rotating pill realm, a half-step rotating pill, could achieve. Watching the enormous flames around Xuejia, Yi Chen's gaze became extremely grave, finally no longer suppressing his own true qi. With a boom, the 12 Gang Yuan true qi vortexes in his body shook wildly, and a vast, unparalleled silver Gang Yuan true qi swept out around him. This time, the Gang Yuan true qi rose to a height of over 150 meters. Although it was far less dense than Xuejia's true qi, within that 150 meters of Gang Yuan true qi, threads of golden light were distinctly mixed in. This was unmistakably Yi Chun unleashing the techniques of both the 9 transformation fighting body and the Gang Yuan True Qi. On the True Inheritance battle platform, hundreds of zhang apart, Yi Chun and Xue Jia faced each other with surging True Qi. The next moment, both men surged forward simultaneously, each carrying a heaven-shaking inferno of True Qi, and slammed fiercely into one another. Boom! In the blink of an eye, Yi Chun and Xue Jia collided in the void. This collision sent a boom through the void, with endless waves of energy lashing out, even sweeping many Spirit Sea Realm disciples who were riding flying beasts hundreds of zhang away. Even those disciples standing in the void to watch the battle were forced to retreat explosively. While everyone was affected by this explosive force, they all noticed that Yi Chun, after the collision, was sent flying backwards as if struck by a massive stone. After tracing an arc in the sky, Yi Chun countered the force with his Gang Yuan True Qi and managed to just barely stop at the edge of the True Inheritance battle platform. Boo! In the end, when Yi Chun had completely withstood the force of the collision, he was actually struck by the rebound and spat out a large mouthful of blood. By contrast, Xue Jia had not moved an inch from the spot he was in prior to the collision, showing no sign of being bounced back. In this direct clash of True Qi, Xue Jia of half-step rotating pill clearly overpowered Yi Chun. If it wasn't for Yi Chun's quick reaction, using True Qi to stop his flying momentum, he would have been smashed right out of the True Inheritance battle platform and lost the fight. Yi Chun. Zhang Yao called out worriedly upon seeing Yi Chun being struck and sent flying. And the female disciples of Snowdrift Peak, seeing Yi Chun barely land on the edge of the battle platform and nearly defeated in one move, all screamed in fright. As countless True Inheritance disciples marveled at the formidable power of Xue Jia, a half-step rotating pill, Xue Jia in the void looked toward Yi Chun, who had been knocked to the edge of the platform, and his eyes flickered. Yi Chun, you asked me to go all out. Don't tell me that's all you got. If that's really the case, then this fight, let's end it here. Boom! As Xue Jia's voice echoed, he once again charged with a towering inferno over 300 meters high from the void, slamming toward Yi Chun. Yi Chun, now at the edge of the battle platform, would unquestionably be knocked off if struck by Xue Jia again. Lost, have I? The always mysterious, invincible Yi Chun. Is he finally about to lose? Just as everyone watched, in an instant, Xue Jia had already reached the spot where Yi Chun stood. In that lightning flash moment, everyone was shocked to discover that Yi Chun had vanished from his original location. The next moment, Yi Chun suddenly appeared behind Xue Jia, and with a great grasp in the void, 96 Sword of True Qi appeared around his body. These 96 Sword of True Qi emitted a killing force even more terrifying than the previous Hidden Wind Sword formation. The end. It's not over just yet. With traces of blood still at the corner of his mouth, Yi Chun's voice remained remarkably calm. In that calmness, he suddenly released his grip, and the 96 Sword of True Qi charged toward Xue Jia's back with a thunderous roar. Chapter 187 Divine Skills versus Divine Skills. 96 Swords of True Qi formed an extraordinarily unique hexagonal starlight sword formation. As the entire formation surged towards Xue Jia, it instantaneously transformed into a pentagram, then into a tetragram, and finally into a triangle. In the end, the sword formation created by the 96 Swords of True Qi astonishingly condensed into a single point of brilliant starlight. This point of brilliant starlight, like a meteor, made the entire void flicker intensely with light and thunderously plummeted down behind Xue Jia. This was none other than the most powerful sword formation among the 4 major formations controlled by Yi Chun. The Star Gathering Sword Formation. The entire Star Gathering Sword Formation, fusing together the second layer of 6 major sword intents and another 23 of the first layer, now possessed power incredibly close to that of a mid-grade Earth rank martial skill. A supremely formidable sword formation divine skill. Only martial skills that reached the Earth rank could be considered divine skills, and the Star Gathering Sword Formation was extraordinarily formidable even among divine skills. After evading Xue Jia's attack, Yi Chun launched a counterattack with this immensely powerful technique. watching Yi Chun vanish abruptly and reappear just as suddenly behind Xuejia, and using the odd sword formation that completely illuminated the void to strike Xuejia. Countless spectators from the True Inheritance disciples gasped in awe. Yi Chen's movements and techniques were too fast. Nobody could see clearly. At that moment, when Xuejia, who was being bombarded by the sword formation, felt something and swiftly turned around. Just as he faced the brilliant point of starlight, a blinding burst of light shot out. This was precisely the star-gathering sword formation, unleashing powerful sword intents of overlapping, piercing light, flash kill, and myriad other formidable abilities. The overwhelmingly bright light instantly made many of the spectators, even from a great distance, momentarily blinded, with tears streaming from the eyes of quite a few lower-realm True Inheritance disciples. Xuejia, who was directly facing the blinding starlight point, did not even close his eyes. Just as the piercing starlight carrying countless powerful sword intents flashed before him and entered his eyes, a thunder-lightning pattern suddenly emerged on his forehead. This thunder-lightning pattern was the external spiritual rune of Xuejia's rotating pill manifesting on his body. The instant the thunder-lightning pattern appeared, a strange flash of thunder-lightning light swept through Xuejia's eyes. As this flash passed, the piercing starlight that entered his eyes was directly annihilated by the thunder-lightning light. At the same time, the immense true qi in Xuejia's palm surged with a dual brilliance of thunder and lightning, and in an instant, a thunder-lightning shield several meters in diameter formed before him, directly facing the blinding starlight sword formation. In response to Yi Chen's sudden deadly move, Xuejia finally unleashed two of his divine skills developed after stepping into the half-step rotating pill realm. The Thunder Lightning Spirit Eye Divine Power. The Thunder Lightning Shield Divine Power. In an instant, the Thunder Lightning Spirit Eye annihilated the light of the sword formation, and in an instant, the Thunder Lightning Shield faced the onslaught of the sword formation. Divine Power versus Divine Power. Boom! 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 When the brilliant point of starlight struck the thunder lightning shield, endless streams of sword light, thunder, and lightning erupted from the point of contact between the shield and the sword formation. The entire True Inheritance battle platform turned into a sea of eye-piercing light. In the midst of rapidly flickering light, the concentrated power of the sword formation and the thunder lightning shield collided and exploded, creating a wave of tangible cyan silver explosive energy that swept over Yi Chan and Xuejia, across the True Inheritance battle platform, and into the vast void. The scope of the explosion's shockwave reached tens of thousands of meters. The massive trees atop the distant inner peaks thundered crazily as they were swept up in the blast. The True Inheritance disciples watching nearby, upon seeing the shockwave surging towards them, screamed in horror. They horrifically found their protective true qi shattering, indicating that many of them simply couldn't withstand the residual might from the collision of the two great divine skills of Yi Chan and Xuejia. Boom! Amid the screams of countless individuals, a pale blue curtain of water suddenly enveloped the void above, wrapping all the True Inheritance disciples within it. Only then did the True Inheritance disciples feel the terrifying shockwave disappear around them. Looking up into the void above, it was clear that a rotating pill realm expert had intervened. All this time, they were unaware of the presence of a rotating pill realm expert observing the True Inheritance martial battle above them. The intervening rotating pill realm expert was none other than Fairy Jialuo. After protecting the onlookers with a single move, she directed her gaze straight to Yi Chan and Xuejia in the midst of the platform. If the residual force of the shockwave outside the battlefield was so terrifying, what about Yi Chan and Xuejia in the middle of the fight? Boom! Boom! In the midst of the formidable sweeping shockwave, Yi Chan and Xuejia were both sent flying up into the sky above the True Inheritance battle platform. At this moment, the robes of both Yi Chan and Xuejia fluttered wildly, their black hair billowing. Xuejia, with an incredulous look in his eyes, recognized Yi Chen's sword formation techniques, but he couldn't discern how Yi Chan had instantly flashed behind him. Clearly, Yi Chan also possessed an unfathomable body method divine power. Body method divine power? Then let's see whether your body method divine power is faster, or if my rotating pill true chi attacks quicker. Whoosh! As the thought flashed through Xue Jia's mind, he, who stood in the void, had the thunder-lightning spirit patterns on his forehead flashing wildly. In the midst of this frenzied flashing, Xue Jia vanished like a bolt of lightning, and in the next instant, he appeared abruptly right in front of Yi Chen. Xue Jia was astonished by Yi Chen's body movement techniques, while Yi Chen was even more shocked by Xue Jia's strength. Half-step rotating pill, truly worthy of the half-step rotating pill. If he hadn't used Void Instantaneous Change divine skill to dodge, he feared he would have been defeated by Xue Jia in just 2 moves. Moreover, even though Yi Chen unleashed the most powerful sword formation divine skill, it was still blocked head-on by Xue Jia under the instantaneous kill. Clearly, Xue Jia, whose cultivation had reached the half-step rotating pill level, had internal true chi that was much stronger than Yi Chen's, and his external martial skills were not the slightest bit weaker than Yi Chen's. The thunder-lightning spirit patterns on Xue Jia's forehead were neither an artistic conception nor a law, but most likely a unique divine power exclusive to those at the half-step rotating pill level. Half-step rotating pill, indeed as Fairy Jialuo had said, was much stronger than the late-stage cultivators of the Spirit Sea realm. To deal with this Xue Jia, Yi Chen could only resort to using the Void Instantaneous Change divine skill. When Xue Jia came to kill once again, Yi Chen, whose divine consciousness enveloped the entire area of 1,000 zhang radius of the True Inheritance battle platform, had his mind move instantly, and he disappeared from his original spot. In the next moment, he appeared in another part of the void. Boom! This time, everyone clearly saw the spot to which Yi Chen instantly moved. The ordinary True Inheritance disciples didn't think much of it, but those strong cultivators of the Spirit Sea realm were completely shocked. Instantaneous movement. That's the technique of instantaneous movement. How could Yi Chen possess such a formidable divine skill? This is a divine skill that, according to legend, one can only have by fusing the 5 great principles of the void heaven and sensing the 5 elements of heaven and earth. Not only were the Spirit Sea realm powerhouses astonished, but even Fairy Jialuo and other rotating pill realm powerhouses high in the void were shaken. Instantaneous movement? No, it doesn't seem to rely on the 5 elements of heaven and earth to perform the instantaneous movement. Yi Chen hasn't fused with any of the 5 great void heaven principles, so it's impossible for him to have such divine skill. It's said that within the ancient clan, there is a secret technique of spatial displacement. Could it be that Yi Chen has cultivated some kind of secret technique heritage? Fairy Jialuo and the other rotating pill realm powerhouses could not sense any fluctuations of the 5 elements in the void, so they could only speculate. The rotating pill realm powerhouses speculated, while Yi Chen's opponent, Xue Jia, was left utterly dumbfounded. Having stepped into the half-step rotating pill realm, although his body hadn't fused with the 5 great principles of the void heaven and he hadn't become a true rotating pill realm powerhouse, his body movement techniques allowed him to kill any high-level Spirit Sea Master in a second. But even so, his body movement techniques still fell short of Yi Chen's. Yi Chen was even able to dodge instantly after he launched his attack. Although Xue Jia could definitely overpower Yi Chen in head-on confrontation, if Yi Chen's body movement was superior to his, he couldn't hit Yi Chen at all, and his strength advantage in a frontal clash would be completely useless. Could it be that this was going to be an anxious battle? Xue Jia was somewhat unwilling to be in such an anxious situation just by challenging a disciple who had entered the gate for only a few months. Instantaneous movement can't take you out of the True Inheritance battle platform area. Since that's the case, let's see if you can block my truly powerful Earth rank mid-level martial skill, Thunder Lightning Prison Suppressing Technique. Xue Jia looked towards Yi Chen, the shock in his eyes slowly dissipating and becoming calm again. In those calm eyes, the thunder lightning spirit patterns on his forehead flashed wildly. And amidst this frenzy, a walnut-sized rotating pill suddenly emerged at the spot of the spirit patterns. This rotating pill kept spinning, engraved with endless mysterious patterns. This was none other than the marvelous entity transformed from true chi that could only be possessed by a half-step rotating pill strong cultivator or a rotating pill realm strong cultivator. The rotating pill. Xue Jia had actually stimulated his rotating pill. Although this rotating pill had not fused with the 5 Great Void Heaven principles and could not be compared with the law-merged rotating pill of the rotating pill realm powerhouses, its power had already reached an inconceivable level. Having stimulated the rotating pill, Xue Jia was obviously going to use an incredible technique. In the very instant that the rotating pill appeared, a strange aura instantly swept across the entire True Inheritance battle platform. In the void, Yi Chun suddenly found that the entire space of the True Inheritance battle platform, including above, below, in front, and behind, was completely covered by Xue Jia's true qi. After the entire space was covered with true qi, layers of black thunderclouds began to flash across it all. In the end, all the black thunderclouds broke apart, and terrifying bolts of lightning burst forth from within. Boom! 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 Countless huge bolts of lightning, hundreds of zhonglong, completely submerged the entire space of the True Inheritance battle platform, which had now become an ocean of lightning. This was the formidable Thunder Lightning Divine Power, the Earth Rank Mid-Level Martial Skill, the Thunder Lightning Prison Suppressing Technique. Even if Yi Chun could perform instantaneous movement, this sky filled with lightning was everywhere. No matter where Yi Chun moved to, he would end up within the killing formation of the Thunder Lightning Prison Suppressing Technique. Above and below, Yi Chun had nowhere to escape. Chapter 188. Assault on the Spirit Sea. Watching the entire True Inheritance battle platform now completely covered by countless hundreds of yards-long massive lightning bolts. Watching the entire platform becoming an ocean of lightning. Watching Yi Chun being engulfed in the sky-wide thunderous death trap. All the core disciples outside the True Inheritance battle platform gasped in shock. Is this the martial skill of a half-step rotating pill powerhouse? Enshrouding a space of 1,000 yards all around, lightning bolts raining down everywhere. Such martial skill, such magical power, is simply too inconceivable. These core disciples all had the feeling that they would be unable to withstand even a single lightning bolt from this deadly array, let alone being trapped in it. And Yi Chun, could he still hold up against it now? And how could he? He's going to lose. Yi Chun is still going to lose. Half-step rotating pill, truly deserving of its reputation. Even if Yi Chun has an exceptional skill in movement, able to dodge Xue Jia's powerful attacks, now he can no longer hide. Now, the entire True Inheritance battle platform area has become an area of deadly force. There's no way to avoid it. With the real force of killing coming down, at the moment of life and death, if Yi Chun can't withstand it, and the True Inheritance battle platform's protective restrictions are triggered to teleport him out, he still loses. Countless core disciples all shook their heads. Yi Chun. In the core disciple area of Snowdrift Peak, Jiang Yao looked at Yi Chun being bombarded and drowned by the sky-wide lightning with eyes filled with tenderness and pain. This Thunder Lightning Prison Suppressing Technique is Xue Jia's strongest martial skill. He has cultivated it for decades more than you have. You forcing him to bring out the rotating pill, forcing him to use his strongest move, means you've already won. Whether you can withstand it or not, in my heart, you are the strongest. Jiang Yao murmured to herself, biting her red lips. To stimulate the rotating pill, to use an Earth-grade mid-tier martial skill. This is indeed Xue Jia's strongest move. It's too much for a disciple at the 12th layer of true qi to resist. Let it be, in this martial duel, for Yi Chun to achieve such a level, to suppress late Spirit Sea realm with the power of the true qi realm, to compete with a half-step rotating pill, he has already made history in our Taishan sect. Even if he loses, his fame will also be spread throughout the entirety of Taishan. In the void space above the True Inheritance battle platform, the rotating pill realm powerhouses watching Yi Chun being engulfed by the lightning also sighed. Just as everyone watched the True Inheritance battle platform, as everyone awaited the final outcome, within the endless ocean of lightning on the entire True Inheritance battle platform, they didn't see Yi Chun's figure triggering the protective restrictions, getting teleported out. In the midst of the thunderous slaughter, everyone heard a piercing roar, a clear sound of sword cry, and a voice of true qi that was extremely thick and long. What sound is that? Could it be, there's still a chance for change? Does Yi Chun still have a method? still have a defensive move up his sleeve? All hearts shook wildly as they looked towards the source of the sounds within the lightning arena. Just as these thoughts flashed through their minds, within the ocean of lightning, everyone saw a giant golden monkey phantom hundreds of meters tall emerging. The piercing roar came from this golden monkey phantom. Everyone saw a fiery red sword light traversing through the ocean of lightning. The clear sword crying sound came from this fiery red sword light. Finally, everyone saw a young figure flying into the midair amidst the endless bombardment of lightning. This figure was surrounded by a majestic true chi, and his black hair fluttered wildly in the storm. It was Yi-chun. Yi-chun, incredibly, had not been brought down by the heavens-wide thunderous slaughter, was still standing upright amidst the ocean of lightning. Golden monkey, fiery red sword light, Gang Yuan true chi roaring. This was unmistakably Yi-chun, against Xuejia's enormously powerful Earth-grade mid-tier martial skill. Madly stimulating his 9 transformation fighting body, Gang Yuan true chi, and even the sword chi spirit liquid from his sword palace acupoint. He had taken out all his techniques, forming the strongest true chi defense. Finally, he withstood Xuejia's strongest attack. Even though Xuejia had used the rotating pill, even though he used an Earth-grade mid-tier martial skill, he still couldn't defeat Yi-chun. Boom! 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 Yi-chun, flying in midair, was struck by endless lightning, but every bolt of lightning that struck him was cut apart by a fiery red sword light radiating from him, severing all the lightning's killing power. No matter how the lightning struck, Yi-chun within the ocean of lightning stood unshaken. Yi-chun had truly withstood the strongest attack from a half-step rotating pill powerhouse. How is this possible? All the core disciples watching from the outside yelled out in shock. Xuejia, between his eyebrows the rotating pill light shining brightly, also showed an incredulous look in his eyes. He had wanted an intense fight, but Yi-chun had managed to keep the battle on an even keel. Although Yi-chun could not deal with him, even with his strongest moves, he likewise could not handle Yi-chun. There's no way out, unless I shatter the rotating pill, to trigger an even more formidable move, but that only during a battle of life and death. Is it necessary? For just a victory in a martial duel, it's absolutely not worth it. Xuejia's complexion kept changing. But what he didn't know was that because it was a martial duel, Yi-chun also didn't use the real killing force. Otherwise, it would not have been such a tense situation between Yi-chun and him. Yi-chun even had the Heavenly Saint bracelet and the Heavenly Saint attack law bead, which he had obtained from the secret grounds of his ancestral land. Xuejia had not used his true life and death moves, and neither had Yi-chun. Without using their ultimate techniques, their power could only tie in battle. Stop! This martial duel ends here. Just as Xuejia and Yi-chun were locked in a tense battle and countless true disciples were astonished and terrified by their power, Fairy Jialuo's indifferent voice came through the void. Then, everyone saw the space above the true inheritance battle platform tear open, and Fairy Jialuo, the sect master of Taishan sect, peak masters from various peaks, and elders all emerged from the void. As they stepped out, Fairy Jialuo, walking at the forefront, gently pointed her fair hand downward. Whoosh! The sky full of thunder and lightning visibly transformed back into true chi and returned inside Xuejia's body. And Yi-chun, with the roaring golden monkey, the flying red sword beams, and the surging Gang Yuan true chi, all rapidly retracted and disappeared. This was the method of the strongest wielders of the Taishan sect. With just a light touch, a dire situation instantly evaporated into nothingness. Peak Master Jialuo. Peak Master Jialuo has ended this evenly matched martial duel. The entire true inheritance battle platform area instantly fell silent. Then, a massive roar of cheers swept through the entire area. Boom! Amid the cheering, Xuejia flew down onto the true inheritance battle platform, and Yi-chun also retracted all his techniques and likewise flew to the center of the platform. Peak Master! Peak Master Jialuo! Yi-chun and Xuejia looked toward Fairy Jialuo and respectfully bowed. This martial duel is declared a draw. What do you two think? Fairy Jialuo looked at them and asked with a gentle smile. Yichun and Xuejia looked at each other. Yichen, I feel unworthy of this draw given your strength, Xuejia said to Yichun with a smile. Yichun simply smiled back. Brother Xuejia, you flatter me too much. Your rotating pill prowess and martial technique prowess truly surprised me. Whoosh! Hearing Yichun and Xuejia speak this way, all the true disciples watching the duel outside the platform screamed out loud. A draw. Clearly, both Xuejia and Yichun accepted this result. And so did all the spectators. The battle between Yichun and Xuejia, the clash of their true qi, and their nimble movements were a feast for the eyes of the true disciples. Frightening thunder and lightning killing power. Countless techniques made this duel a rare grand battle in the history of the Taishan sect over hundreds of years. Especially for Yichun, who as a true Qi realm cultivator, had impressed the top 4 warriors on the spirit ranking and even managed to draw against a half-step rotating pill adversary, ingraining his name in the minds of numerous true disciples witnessing him for the first time. Yichun. With the duel announced over by Fairy Jialuo, there was no need for further battles. Whether it was Xuejia, Zhao Xian, or the onlooking true disciples, they all recognized Yichen's strength and his rightful placement as the 4th on the spirit ranking. At that moment, from the area of Snowdrift Peak's true disciples, Zhang Yao moved swiftly toward Yichun. Yichun watched Zhang Yao approaching, then glanced at the numerous true disciples looking at him, and finally rested his gaze on Xuejia and Fairy Jialuo. Through his battle with Xuejia, he had nearly exhausted all his techniques to achieve a draw. Yichun finally realized the strength of a half-step rotating pill master. And Fairy Jialuo's last intervention was an eye-opener for Yichun, unveiling the terrifying power of a rotating pill realm master who had merged with the grand laws of the void to form a law-rotating pill. My power, even if it may overpower late-stage Spirit Sea realm warriors, is still far insufficient against half-step rotating pill and rotating pill realm masters. It is time to step beyond the true Qi realm and enter the Spirit Sea realm. The sword dueling tournament would require me in the Spirit Sea realm. Likewise, the exploration of the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb in 6 days demands it. Now that I have entered the 12th level of true Qi, everything is ready. So, tomorrow, I shall truly challenge the Spirit Sea realm. Yichun made up his mind. As the true inheritance battle concluded, the true disciples and elders of Elder Peak returned to their mountains. Everything seemed to return to tranquility. Only Yi Chen's reputation began to spread throughout the entire Taishan sect. After resting for a day, the following early morning, Yi Chen, accompanied by Zhang Yao, rode the giant fire sparrow, flying toward Ascending Spirit Valley located on Elder Peak, the highest among Taishan sect's internal peaks. Yichun was set to begin his assault on the Spirit Sea realm in Ascending Spirit Valley, right before entering the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb. Finally, Yichun was about to step into the second significant domain of the martial pathway, fiercely stronger than before. Chapter 189 Ascending Spirit Valley. Ascending Spirit Valley, located at the waist of the mountain where Taishan sect's first Elder Peak is situated, is a vast concave valley. The entire Ascending Spirit Valley covers tens of thousands of square zhang, and at its very center, there is a circular platform that spans several zhang in circumference. This circular platform is inscribed with numerous mystical patterns, all of which form a complete and flawless gathering spirit formation. The grand platform engraved with the complete gathering spirit formation is known as the Ascension Platform. This platform is the place where cultivators who enter the Ascending Spirit Valley sit in meditation and cultivate. Curiously, encircling the Ascension Platform are rings of bizarre stone pillars that extend outward, and these pillars, just like the platform, are also engraved with their own gathering spirit formations. Around the entire Ascension Platform, there are 6 rings of these strange stone pillars, and each ring contains precisely 12 pillars. 12 pillars per ring, totaling 6 rings from the inside out. The peculiar stone pillars surrounding the Ascension Platform number 72 in total. The 72 bizarre stone pillars, with their 72 gathering spirit formations engraved upon them, connect above the ground with the central Ascension Platform formation, ultimately constituting the vast formation of the entire Ascending Spirit Valley. This majestic formation reaches the heaven rank, specifically the heaven-rank mid-grade gathering spirit formation of Ascending Spirit Valley. Such a grand formation was, in the past, only accessible to the elders and peak masters of the Taishan sect for their meditative cultivation. They used the heaven-rank gathering spirit formation to fuse the true spirit energy of heaven and earth, enhancing their true qi cultivation. Among the elite disciples of recent years, Zhang Yao is the only one who qualifies to enter the Ascending Spirit Valley, using it to break through from the true qi realm to the spirit sea realm. Yi Chun became the second unanimously agreed-upon elite disciple by all the peak masters and elders to attempt to break through to the spirit sea realm here. Yi Chen's extraordinary performance in battle against a half-step rotating pill expert on the True Inheritance battle platform astonished all the elite disciples, as well as all the elders and peak masters of the Taishan sect. When Yi Chun expressed his intention to break through to the spirit sea realm, without needing any further word from Fairy Jialuo, all the peak masters and elders immediately suggested that Yi Chun come to Ascending Spirit Valley, within the first elder peak, to use the heaven-rank gathering spirit formation for his breakthrough. The heaven-rank mid-grade gathering spirit formation within Ascending Spirit Valley, while more than sufficient for rotating pill realm experts to cultivate their true qi, is somewhat overqualified for a breakthrough from the true qi realm to the spirit sea realm. However, there was no question that this place should be made available to Yi Chun for his attempt at the spirit sea realm, as he was worthy of this privilege. Let alone the fact that Yi Chun had fought to a draw with the half-step rotating pill expert Xuejia on the True Inheritance battle platform. Just Yi Chen's ability to thoroughly defeat late-stage Spirit Sea realm experts, with his 12th layer True Qi realm cultivation, granted him this qualification. As Yi Chun and Zhang Yao rode the colossal fire sparrow towards Ascending Spirit Valley, within the valley, 10 rotating pill realm experts had already been sitting in the void awaiting their arrival. Among these 10 rotating pill realm experts was Fairy Jialuo herself. As Yi Chun was attempting to break through to the spirit sea realm, and as the peak master of Floating Snow Peak, it was only natural for Fairy Jialuo to preside over the event personally. Besides Fairy Jialuo, the other 9 rotating pill realm experts were the elders in charge of this heaven rank formation from the first elder peak. The 10 great rotating pill realm experts waited, expecting Yi Chun to arrive in Ascending Spirit Valley. This wait was not a long one, as the 10 great rotating pill realm experts soon saw from afar the giant fire sparrow flying through the sky, carrying Yi Chun and Zhang Yao on its back. Yi Chun has arrived. Prepare to activate the gathering spirit formation. All 9 elders stood up. Fairy Jialuo also stood up, smiling at Yi Chun and Zhang Yao. Chirp! With a crisp cry of the bird, in a matter of breaths, the giant fire sparrow, over 120 meters in length, unfolded its fiery wings and descended within Ascending Spirit Valley. Esteemed elders and peak masters, I am humbled by your assistance as I attempt to break through to the next realm. Yi Chun said upon arrival in Ascending Spirit Valley, as he and Zhang Yao flew towards the 10 great rotating pill realm experts. Having been informed by Zhang Yao that the heaven rank gathering spirit formation required the joint effort of 9 elders to activate, Yi Chun wasn't surprised to see the 9 elders present. The 9 great elders, just like Fairy Jialuo, also smiled and looked towards Yi Chun. Yi Chun, there's no need to be polite with us old fellows. During your time in the true Qi realm, you could battle on par with a half-step rotating pill disciple. We old fellows are also looking forward to seeing just how much your strength will advance after stepping into the spirit sea realm. Now, as the early sun rises and the true qi of heaven and earth abundantly releases, it is an excellent time to cultivate and attempt to break through. Go ahead to the ascension platform and start your attempt to reach the spirit sea realm, Ascending Spirit Valley. Upon hearing the words of the 9 great elders, Yi Chun turned his attention to the circular platform at the very heart of the Ascending Spirit Valley, surrounded by 72 peculiar stone pillars. Yi Chun took a deep breath. He was about to begin his attempt to reach the Spirit Sea realm on that very platform. Yi Chun had already prepared himself and, without any hesitation, nodded slightly towards Zhang Yao, then bowed to the 9 great elders and Fairy Jialuo before his wings of wind and thunder unfurled behind him, and he flew towards the circular platform at the valley's center. It's starting. Yi Chun said he was confident in stepping into the spirit sea. Once he gets past this hurdle, he will be just like me, a person of the spirit sea realm. Jiang Yao stood amidst the void, beside Fairy Jialuo, her clear eyes focused on Yi Chun, her small hands tightly clenched, a face full of anticipation. A giant fire sparrow stopped by her side, the majestic bird also turning its attention to Yi Chun. As everyone watched, Yi Chun finally arrived above the ascension platform. He sat down cross-legged right atop the eye of the gathering spirit formation at the center of the platform. Seeing that Yi Chun had seated himself, the 9 great elders simultaneously formed hand seals. In an instant, a powerful aura swept through the entire ascending spirit valley, rushing into the 72 peculiar stone pillars and the ascension platform's gathering spirit formation. Boom! 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 In an instant, all the patterns on the gathering spirit formation began to circulate, and amidst the endless flashing lights, the entire ascending spirit valley seemed to come to life. This was the display of the heaven rank gathering spirit formation, the grand formation of the ascending spirit valley, activating. What a strange sensation. It's as if only I could attract it, I could gather the endless true chi of heaven and earth. Seated at the eye of the gathering spirit formation on the ascension platform, Yi Chun felt the pulse of the land throughout the valley as if the very earth was breathing. Yi Chun closed his eyes and regulated his breathing to match. Gradually, his breathing became synchronized with the breathing of the land throughout ascending spirit valley. Calm and focusing his spirit, Yi Chun entered into a genuine state of attempting to break through. An attempt to reach the spirit sea realm involves transforming the chi sea into the spirit sea and changing the gaseous true chi within the chi sea into the liquid form of the true chi spiritual fluid. This process requires the use of the rushing spirit skills to stimulate the entire chi sea to change. Seated in meditation, Yi Chun began to channel the true chi inside his body according to the rushing spirit skills. This process lasted for a full hour. After 1 hour had passed, a golden box suddenly flew out of the meditating Yi Chun's body. The golden box flew open upon its exit, and a peculiar pill leapt out from within, suspending itself in the void right in front of Yi Chun. On this peculiar pill, engraved with a 3-striped golden dragon pattern, was none other than the supreme treasure Yi Chun had acquired in the ancestral secret realm, the Creation Yuan Pill. The Creation Yuan Pill, capable of perfectly transforming the true chi realm into the spirit sea realm and giving those within the spirit sea realm a 70% chance of stepping into the rotating pill, was indeed a powerful and strange spirit pill. Yi Chun was to use this pill to aid in his attempt at reaching the spirit sea. At the very moment the Creation Yuan Pill flew out, Yi Chun, who had been meditating and channeling the rushing spirit skills for a full hour, suddenly opened his eyes. As he opened his eyes, he inhaled towards the void and the floating Creation Yuan Pill shot into his mouth with a whoosh. The attempt to reach the spirit sea realm was happening right now. Chapter 190. Astonishing Phenomenon. After ingesting the Creation Yuan Pill, Yi Chun clenched the spell in his hand fiercely. The rushing spirit skills began to revolve crazily toward his entire chi sea. In an instant, strands of peculiar green smoke started to float around Yi Chun's body. It's starting. Yi Chun has already set the spell in motion, finally about to take the step into gathering spirit, using the heaven and earth true chi to strike at his chi sea, causing it to undergo a metamorphosis. Watching the strands of peculiar green smoke rising around Yi Chun, the 9 great elders, Fairy Jialuo, and Jiang Yao in the void were all getting excited. They had broken through to the spirit sea realm before and knew that this was the beginning of the transformation of the chi sea into the spirit sea. The higher the talent in the true chi realm, the richer the heaven and earth true chi that one can draw upon while breaking into the spirit sea. The resulting spirit sea from the transformation of the entire chi sea will be more vast. Stepping into the spirit sea later on, one's strength will also be all the more powerful. An average disciple from the true chi realm who manages to step into the spirit sea can draw upon 4 to 5 li of heaven and earth true chi cloud. Meanwhile, immensely powerful true chi realm disciples can even draw upon 10 li of heaven and earth true chi cloud. Us old fellows from the rotating pill realm, When we broke into the spirit sea realm before, the heaven and earth true chi clouds we drew upon were about 15 li fairy Jialuo. When she stepped into the spirit sea, even drew upon a terrifying 33 li of true chi cloud. The 9 great elders reminisced as they watched Yi Chun. Fairy Jialuo also gently spoke at this time. Back then, Yaoer activated a total of 36 spirit gathering formations spread over 3 rings on this ascension platform, drawing upon 49 li of heaven and earth true chi cloud, even stronger than me at the time. I really don't know how many spirit gathering formations Yi Chun can activate, or how much heaven and earth true chi cloud he can draw upon. Fairy Jialuo looked at Yi Chun, who was seated at the very center of the ascending Spirit Valley's ascension platform, with anticipation in her heart. She was hoping that Yi Chun would draw upon even more heaven and earth true chi clouds and enhance his strength further. When I was at the 12th layer of the true chi realm, I wasn't as strong as Yi Chun is now. He must be more formidable than I was, and will draw upon even more heaven and earth true chi clouds. Belief in Yi Chun was written all over Zhang Yao's delicate little face. Boom! 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 In the gazes of the 10 great rotating pill experts and Zhang Yao, Yi Chun, enveloped by strands of green smoke, had already directed the rushing spirit skills completely into his Qi Si. In a flash, Yi Chen's entire Qi Si began to pulse furiously. Within the 12 great Gang Yuan True Qi whirlpools within the Qi Si, endless Gang Yuan True Qi began to turn into 12 towering tornadoes, violently sweeping through the entire Qi Si. The whole Qi Si world was in an uproar. In the world of the Qi Si, only Yi Chen's unique and marvelous Star Tower remained standing, unmoved by the commotion. Even as the Star Tower stood immobile, the 12 Gang Yuan True Qi tornadoes churned the entire Qi Si up, leaving it with tremendous fissures all around. This was a clear sign that the Qi Si was undergoing a magnificent transformation. Meanwhile, as the world within Yi Chen's Qi Si was undergoing tumultuous changes, the entire ascension platform where he was seated burst into endless spiritual light. Amidst this endless outpouring of spiritual light, all of the gathering spirit formations on the ascension platform emitted an extraordinarily dazzling glow. Under the shine of this glow, Yi Chun seemed like a deity seated at the heart of it all. While the light intensified, all the endless radiance from the ascension platform, connected via endless patterns on the ground, started to swiftly course toward the 72 stone pillars throughout the valley. Boom! 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 In almost the blink of an eye, all of the spirit-gathering formations on the 12 stone pillars of the first ring glowed intensely, emitting boundless spiritual light. It didn't stop there. The moment the 12 stone pillars of the first ring released their light, the pillars of the second and third rings were also instantly activated. The total number of activated spirit-gathering stone pillars in Ascending Spirit Valley had reached an impressive 36. As each of the spirit-gathering stone pillars was activated, great winds began to howl throughout the entire Ascending Spirit Valley, as if the valley wielded a tremendous attractive force. From all directions, endless heaven and earth true chi began to converge towards the valley. Instantly, above the valley's skies, a vast, incredibly dense, green cloud began to gather. This azure giant cloud was none other than the heaven and earth true chi spirit cloud. It was the true chi spirit cloud formed when one from the true chi realm struck at the spirit sea realm. When the 12 spirit gathering stone pillars emitted a bright light, the heaven and earth spirit cloud in the sky extended to a radius of 10 miles. When the 24 spirit gathering stone pillars emitted a bright light, the heaven and earth spirit cloud in the sky had already expanded to a radius of 28 miles. And when all 36 spirit gathering stone pillars emitted a bright light, the heaven and earth spirit cloud in the sky even reached a formidable size of 49 miles in radius. The area covered by the entire heaven and earth true chi spirit cloud even enveloped a large expanse of the sky above the first elder peak. Seeing the astounding heaven and earth true chi spirit cloud continue to expand, the 9 great elders all became excited. And upon seeing the area of the heaven and earth true chi spirit cloud reaching a 49-mile radius, with all 36 spirit gathering stone pillars being activated, the elders couldn't help exclaiming in astonishment. 36 spirit-gathering stone pillars. Heavens, Yichun is just like Zhang Yao. He has also activated all 36 spirit-gathering stone pillars. Indeed, just like Zhang Yao, Yichun has an unbelievably powerful true qi realm, and the heaven and earth true qi spirit cloud he triggers is also boundless. In the midst of the 9 great elders' exclamations, Fairy Jialuo and Zhang Yao both remained silent. Concerned more about Yichun, the two noticed simultaneously that the 36 spirit-gathering stone pillars might not be his limit yet. The other 12 spirit-gathering stone pillars in the 4th ring also began to flash wildly. Although not as rapidly activated as the first 3 rings of 36 stone pillars, it was clear that these stone pillars of the 4th ring were also being activated. It was very likely that they too would be activated and release the power of gathering spirit onto the heaven and earth true qi spirit cloud. Could it be that Yichun can activate a full 48 spirit-gathering stone pillars? Seeing the 12 spirit-gathering stone pillars of the 4th ring flash wildly, Fairy Jialuo could not remain calm either. Having cultivated countless times in Ascending Spirit Valley, she certainly knew what activating 48 spirit-gathering stone pillars meant. It was a phenomenon that only the immensely powerful rotating pill realm cultivators of the Taishan sect exhibited during their rotating pill cultivation. To reach the extent in rotating pill realm cultivation while striking from true qi realm at the spirit sea realm. This indicated that the amount of heaven and earth true qi absorbed by Yichun upon entering the spirit sea realm would be enough to reach the rotating pill realm level. This was simply an inconceivable scenario. As Fairy Jialuo struggled to maintain her composure, boom, boom, boom. The 12 spirit-gathering stone pillars of the 4th ring, after flashing for dozens of breaths, simultaneously shone brightly. These 12 spirit-gathering stone pillars were truly activated. Together with the previously activated 36, the number of spirit-gathering stone pillars activated by Yichun truly reached a breathtaking total of 48. Boom, boom, boom. When all 48 spirit-gathering stone pillars shone brightly, the entire heaven and earth true qi spirit cloud, already covering a radius of 49 miles in the sky, began to expand once again. 50 miles, 58 miles, 63 miles. In the end, the entire expanse of the heaven and earth true qi spirit cloud even reached a staggering 72 miles, completely enveloping the sky above the first elder peak in the heaven and earth true qi spirit cloud. Heaven and earth true qi spirit cloud. I remember Yichun was set to strike at the spirit sea realm within the first elder peak today. Could it be Yichun who has caused such an extraordinary phenomenon? To think striking at the spirit sea realm could draw forth such an immense heaven and earth true qi spirit cloud? This earth-shattering spectacle even drew the attention of the elders from the 2nd elder peak and the 3rd elder peak. They all flew out from their peaks and stood in the void looking towards the sky above the 1st elder peak, with disbelief etched on their faces. Not just the elders, but even the true disciples from the 8 great inner peaks eventually took notice of the astonishing phenomenon above the 1st elder peak, each flying out from their peaks and turning their gazes skyward. Chapter 191 Change. 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 As countless people were paying attention to the anomaly at the top of the 1st elder peak, Yichun, who was sitting cross-legged within the ascending spirit valley of the 1st elder peak, had reached the most critical moment of his breakthrough to the spirit sea realm. Within the realm of true qi, he activated a total of 48 spirit-gathering stone pillars, drawing upon the immense heaven and earth true qi spirit cloud within a 72-li radius, setting a record for the true qi realm and reaching the limit of his own power. His inner qi sea world had also reached its limit at this time. Boom! 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 Yichun's entire qi sea had been battered by 12 gusts of Gangyuan true qi hurricanes, creating countless immense cracks, which began to spread and extend across the land of the entire qi sea world. As the vast heaven and earth true qi spirit cloud completely obscured the 1st elder peak, the land of Yichun's qi sea was also completely covered by immense cracks. The mutation of the qi sea was happening now. Shrouded over the entire 1st elder peak, the vast heaven and earth true qi spirit cloud, extending over a radius of 72 li, was suddenly drawn by the abnormal changes of Yi Chen's qi, instantly taking the shape of a divine marvel funnel, furiously flooding towards his body. In an instant, Yi Chen was completely engulfed within the heaven and earth true qi spirit cloud. The immense heaven and earth true qi spirit cloud poured frantically into Yi Chen's body, directed into his qi. Upon entering Yi Chen's qi, the spirit cloud was transformed into Gang Yuan True Qi by the Gang Qi transformation, a divine skill from the Gang Yuan chapter of the primordial star scripture that Yi Chen cultivated. With the addition of new Gang Yuan True Qi, the howling Gang Yuan True Qi hurricanes whirling within his entire qi suddenly grew tremendously. After the addition of millions of strands of new Gang Yuan True Qi, the land beneath the qi world, already filled with boundless cracks, seemed unable to withstand the immense true qi pressure and burst apart with a thunderous explosion, shattering entirely. In amidst these thunderous explosions and shattering, an incredibly vast ocean formed with a roar. At the same time as the huge ocean formed, a golden dragon suddenly flew out of Yi Chen's qi. This golden dragon was precisely the medicinal power dragon released from the creation Yuan pill that Yi Chen had ingested. As soon as the golden dragon appeared within the qi, it immediately began to spew endless flames. These flames, upon contact with the Gang Yuan True Qi hurricanes surging in the qi, caused all of the Gang Yuan True Qi to ignite, eventually transforming into drops of silver spiritual liquid that fell into the newly formed vast ocean. While true qi outside of Yi Chen's body was furiously rushing inward, all the true qi that poured in was burned into Gang Yuan True Qi spirit liquid by the flames of the golden dragon, plunging into the ocean. Within the entire true qi ocean, the quantity of Gang Yuan True Qi spirit liquid grew more and more, becoming more and more immense. Boom! 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 With the influx of the Gang Yuan True Qi spirit liquid, the true qi ocean continued to spread and expand. Eventually, the land of the entire qi world became a vast ocean. No, at this moment, the qi world could no longer be called a qi. Having endless oceans, filled with an endless supply of Gang Yuan True Qi spirit liquid, the qi world had transformed into a true spirit sea world. The qi was shattered, and the spirit sea emerged. The true qi transformed, and the spiritual liquid appeared. With the immense medicinal power of the creation Yuan pill, Yi Chen finally broke through the bottleneck of the spirit sea realm and truly entered the process where the qi transforms into the spirit sea and the Gang Yuan True Qi turns into Gang Yuan True Qi spirit liquid. 3 hours later, when the immense true qi spirit cloud that had shrouded the skies above the ascending spirit valley and the entire first elder peak for 72 li, had all transformed into Gang Yuan True Qi spirit liquid and fallen into Yi Chen's newly established spirit sea. Yi Chen completely accomplished the transformation to the spirit sea. Yi Chen had thoroughly stepped into the spirit sea realm. A new powerhouse of the spirit sea realm was thus born. At this moment, Yi Chen's spirit sea radiated with endless silver Gang Yuan True Qi spirit liquid shining with divine marvel. And due to the inflow of the heaven and earth true qi spirit cloud from a 72 li radius, the quantity of Gang Yuan True Qi spirit liquid inside his spirit sea had increased by hundreds of times compared to when Yi Chen was at the 12th layer of true qi. Yi Chen's quantity of true qi had taken a qualitative leap due to the breakthrough into the spirit sea realm. From now on, Yi Chen officially entered the early stages of the spirit sea realm. Once the entire qi turned into the spirit sea and the gaseous true qi turned into the liquid true qi spirit fluid, the process being completely finished, the sitting Yi Chen suddenly opened his eyes. The moment his eyes opened, an extraordinary light of spiritual liquid flashed through them. Feeling the vast true qi spiritual fluid within the spirit sea, and the surging true qi power inside his body, Yi Chen stood up from his seated position. The spirit sea. I have finally become a powerhouse of the spirit sea realm. Yi Chen's eyes were brimming with endless brilliance. He reached out into the void with a great hand, and instantly countless strands of Gang Yuan True Qi burst forth from his hand. Effortlessly, Yi Chen was now able to instantly utilize all true qi techniques. He felt as if he was in control of an incredibly immense true qi, at his disposal to use as he wished. Previously, When Yi Chun faced the half-step rotating pill expert Xuejia at the 12th layer of True Qi, he was sent flying directly by Xuejia's True Qi impact. But now, with his Gang Yuan True Qi spirit liquid multiplying by hundreds of times within his body, Yi Chun was confident that upon encountering Xuejia again, he would absolutely not lose out to him in the slightest in a direct confrontation of True Qi. This is the effect of True Qi spirit transformation. True Qi turns into spiritual liquid, inducing a spirit transformation. This is just one of the gains I've made after stepping into the Spirit Sea realm, and there are others. Yi Chun felt the changes in his body and had long sensed that his entire life force was vastly different from when he was in the True Qi realm. True Qi spirit transformation is the transformation of my True Qi. I have a second transformation too, and that is flight. With a mere thought, Yi Chun no longer needed to rely on wind thunder wings for flight as he had in the realm of True Qi. Upon entering the Spirit Sea, he felt he could control every bit of essence element throughout his body. This control over the essence element granted Yi Chun a new divine skill, the ability to fly and escape the earth that only those in the Spirit Sea realm could possess. Boom! As Yi Chun's divine sense shifted, he lightly lifted his foot and stepped into the void, walking on air. With another thought, Yi Chun, who was stepping through the void, instantly turned into a silver-white escaping light, flying at high speed throughout ascending Spirit Valley. Flight, this is the feeling of flight. To be able to fly in the void is the technique of the powerful. Yi Chun could finally fly and earth escape, soaring into the void. True Qi spirit transformation is the Qi's transformation. Flight is the essence element's transformation. After stepping into the Spirit Sea, there is a third transformation I've undergone, and that is the transformation of divine sense. Boom! Yi Chun let his divine sense spread fully, sweeping over the entire ascending Spirit Valley. Before reaching the Spirit Sea realm, Yi Chun's divine sense could cover a radius of 1,000 zhang, approximately 6 to 7 miles. However, after entering the Spirit Sea, Yi Chun's divine sense coverage expanded suddenly to a radius of 20 miles. Everything within the radius of 20 miles was under Yi Chun's control. This was a sign of strengthening divine sense. With the increase in the scope of the divine sense, Yi Chun's void instantaneous change divine skill would be even more formidable, and the area he could instantly change to expanded with the range of his divine sense to cover 20 miles. With a single thought, Yi Chun could instantly move to any location within this 20-mile radius. After the divine sense had strengthened, not only did the scope enlarge, but there was another advantage: divine sense transmission. Previously, Yi Chun did not understand how Spirit Sea realm experts could transmit messages with their divine sense, but after stepping into the Spirit Sea realm, he realized that with a strong enough divine sense, he could easily sense other experts' divine senses and communicate directly through it. This was divine sense transmission. Boom! After experiencing the changes in his body, Yi Chun flew back down to the ascension platform. From the realm of True Qi, the first major realm of martial arts, to the second major realm, the Spirit Sea realm, Yi Chun's gains were immense. His whole level of life took a leap forward, with substantial improvements and changes to all three aspects of his being: essence, qi, and spirit. The transformation of essence means control over the movement of essence element, giving Yi Chun a more refined command over his strength and a new divine skill: flight. The transformation of qi is the transformation of true qi into spiritual liquid. This change allows Yi Chun's Spirit Sea to hold more true qi spiritual fluid, vastly increasing the power of the true qi he controls. There's also the third transformation, the divine transformation, where divine sense expands and strengthens, enveloping all directions and allowing divine sense transmission. Yi Chun felt that this foray into the Spirit Sea realm marked another qualitative leap in his strength. With his newly acquired flight divine ability, combined with his Wind Thunder Wings cultivation technique, Yi Chun was confident that his speed would not be inferior to any Spirit Sea realm fighter, including those who reached the half-step rotating pill realm. Moreover, the surge in the quantity of Gang Yuan True Qi Spirit Liquid boosted his strength to an unimaginable level. In terms of the amount and quality of True Qi, Yi Chun would not be the slightest bit inferior to a half-step rotating pill expert. And then there were the enhancements in divine sense, the increased range of void instantaneous change, and more nuanced power control, which aided in mastering the 9 transformation fighting body. Before, Yi Chun could only fight to a draw against the half-step rotating pill expert Xuejia. Now, with further improvements in his strength, Yi Chun felt that he was definitely superior to Xuejia. Without relying on the void instantaneous change divine skill, he already had the power to confront a half-step rotating pill expert head-on. Chapter 192 Gathering Storm. Huge gains. After stepping from martial arts' first major realm, the True Qi realm, into the second major realm, the Spirit Sea realm, the rewards were indeed tremendous. Yi Chun felt the changes in his strength and nodded in satisfaction. However, at this moment, as he sized up the vast Spirit Sea newly formed within his Qi Sea acupoint, and the Gang Yuan True Qi Spirit Liquid within the Spirit Sea that shimmered with silver light, Yi Chun showed a hint of surprise. Even after absorbing so much Gang Yuan True Qi, the True Thunder Extreme Change, the 5th layer of the Gang Yuan chapter of Primordial Star Scripture, still hasn't triggered any True Thunder induction. Yi Chun had already successfully cultivated the first 4 layers of the Gang Yuan chapter: Meridian Refining Art, Gang Yuan Mantra, Gang Qi Transformation, and Void Instantaneous Change, but he had always been unable to cultivate the 5th layer. According to the 5th layer, True Thunder Extreme Change, one must accumulate an extreme amount of Gang Yuan True Qi in the Qi Sea acupoint until True Thunder induction is generated within the body. Only then can one draw upon 9 heavens True Thunder to strike the Gang Yuan True Qi, causing an extreme transformation of the Qi and stepping into the 2nd chapter of Primordial Star Scripture. Yi Chun had thought that reaching the 12th layer of True Qi would fulfill the requirement for the maximum quantity of Gang Yuan True Qi, but even after entering the 12th layer, he still hadn't triggered any True Thunder induction. Now, after breaking through from the 12th layer of True Qi to the initial phase of Spirit Sea Realm, the Gang Yuan True Qi within his body had increased hundreds of times, transforming into droplets of liquid Gang Yuan True Qi Spirit Liquid, and yet there was still no sign of True Thunder induction. This was indeed surprising for Yi Chun. Could it be that the amount of Gang Yuan True Qi in his body hadn't yet reached its limit? Did he need to further increase the amount of Gang Yuan True Qi? Yi Chun pondered. After all, the Primordial Star Scripture, this supreme divine art, offers tremendous benefits across the first 4 layers of the Gang Yuan chapter. Whether it's cultivating the 33 meridian wheels with Meridian Refining Art, cultivating Gang Yuan True Qi with the Gang Yuan Mantra, transforming Gang Yuan True Qi with the Gang Qi Transformation, or mastering the Void Instantaneous Change that enables instantaneous movement, each layer brought him immense gains. Naturally, Yi Chun wanted to complete the cultivation of the 5th layer as soon as possible. Not only did he want to complete the cultivation of these 5 layers, but Yi Chun was also eager to see what the 2nd chapter of the Primordial Star Scripture would be like after the Gang Yuan chapter. Just the foundational Gang Yuan chapter was so powerful. Once he entered the 2nd floor of Starlight Tower and obtained the 2nd chapter's cultivation technique hidden there, his strength would likely improve dramatically once again. Yi Chun clearly remembered the message left by the owner of Starlight Tower, ZG Starlord, which stated that if he cultivated up to the 4th chapter of Primordial Star Scripture, he would be powerful enough to dominate a world. Yi Chun naturally aspired to reach that level of power as soon as possible. Forget it, if the Gang Yuan True Qi is still insufficient to produce True Thunder induction, then I'll just continue to increase the Gang Yuan True Qi. After all, entering the Spirit Sea realm means that I still have to continue cultivating True Qi. After some thought, Yi Chun decided to put this worry aside for now. Although he hadn't yet induced True Thunder, Yi Chun had a premonition that he wasn't far from triggering True Thunder induction within his body. Right now, entering Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb is the priority. After stepping into the Spirit Sea realm, Yi Chun finally met the requirements to enter the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb. He could finally explore the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb with Zhang Yao. After this exploration of the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb is over, I'll also be qualified to attend the Spirit Sea Realm Sword Fighting Tournament. Yi Chun smiled lightly. Having stepped into the Spirit Sea Realm, he had met the requirements for both the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb and the sword fighting tournament. This eased his mind considerably. Let's go. Zhang Yao and the Peak Master must be getting anxious waiting for me. Yi Chun had been cultivating in Ascending Spirit Valley, undergoing the breakthrough to the Spirit Sea realm, and then comprehending the changes in his body, a phase during which, of course, no one would disturb him. Now that he had fully comprehended all the changes post-breakthrough, there was no need to stay in Ascending Spirit Valley any longer. With a thought, Yi Chun laughed as he flew into the sky, heading towards Zhang Yao and Fairy Jialuo waiting in the skies at the outer edges of Ascending Spirit Valley. He's out. Yi Chun has successfully completed his realm breakthrough and has finally emerged. As soon as Yi Chun stood up from his meditative posture and began to fly through the valley using his flight divine ability, Zhang Yao, Fairy Jialuo, and the 9 elders were all excited. They had personally witnessed the extraordinary phenomena of Yi Chun's realm breakthrough and saw how he absorbed the heaven and earth spirit cloud from a radius of 72 miles into his body. Just think about the extent of Yi Chun's strength increase with 72 miles of heaven and earth spirit cloud. While Yi Chun was still in the valley comprehending the various gains from his elevated realm, they naturally wouldn't interrupt. But as soon as Yi Chun flew out of the valley, they couldn't contain their excitement and all headed towards him. Yi Chun, the girl Zhang Yao, dressed in a white pleated skirt, with her hair cascading to her waist like a waterfall, and her face exquisite and absolutely beautiful, with clear and moving eyes, was the first to fly in front of Yi Chun. Yi Chun smiled at Zhang Yao and took the girl's small hand into his palm. At this moment, Fairy Jialuo and the 9 great elders also descended beside the two of them. Looking at Yi Chun and Zhang Yao, all 9 great elders nodded with smiles. These 2 youngsters were indeed the great hope of the Taishan sect. Fairy Jialuo's face also revealed a faint smile as she looked at Yi Chun and said, Yi Chun, congratulations on entering the Spirit Sea realm. You said before that you wanted to go to the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb with Yaoer, and I didn't believe you could enter the Spirit Sea so quickly. To my surprise, in the blink of an eye, you have become a master of the Spirit Sea realm. The exploration of the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb begins in 5 days. Are you ready to compete with the talents from the great sects, even those from 5th rank great sects? The exploration of the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb starts in 5 days. Fairy Jialuo's words filled Yi Chun's heart with a surge of lofty ambition. In the past, he had only interacted with the talents from the eastern region of the Heavenly Wind Kingdom, and had only traveled within that region's boundaries. In 5 days, he would head to the Demon Burial Abyss in the northern region of the Heavenly Wind Kingdom, where the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb was located, and compete with disciples from the 6th rank and 5th rank great sects of the entire Heavenly Wind Kingdom for the tomb's legacy treasures and opportunities. Naturally, this made Yi Chun quite excited. Peak Master, rest assured, once we enter the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb, those 5th rank sect disciples better not provoke us. If they try to bully us, they will likely suffer for it, Yi Chun said with a light smile. Seeing the confidence in Yi Chun's smile, Fairy Jialuo nodded unconsciously. Even before Yi Chun had entered the Spirit Sea realm, he had fought Xue Jia to a standstill, who was at the half-step rotating pill strength. Now that he had entered the Spirit Sea realm, of course, she felt even more relieved about Yi Chun's strength. Having Yi Chun accompany Zhang Yao to the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb, she felt much more at ease. All right, let's return to Snowdrift Peak. 5 days will pass quickly, and we need to make good preparations before heading to the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb. As Yi Chun completed his breakthrough into the Spirit Sea realm and returned to Snowdrift Peak, where he and Zhang Yao, along with the other top 10 disciples from the Taishan sect's spirit ranking, were making final preparations to enter the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb. Other great sects were also in the midst of their final preparations to enter the tomb. Within the northern region of the Heavenly Wind Kingdom, the 5th rank great sect, Cloud Sky Sect. As the most powerful sect in the entire Heavenly Wind Kingdom, which had once even been a 4th rank sect, the Cloud Sky Sect still had 2 strong late-stage rotating pill practitioners in charge. At present, within the most secretive cave abode of Cloud Sky Sect, the 2 late-stage rotating pill practitioners, Taoist Yunyang and Taoist Yunfang, were sitting in the uppermost seats with 30 disciples standing firmly before them. These 30 disciples were the ones chosen to represent the Cloud Sky sect in the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb. Among these 30, there were as many as 18 half-step rotating pill powerhouses, and the remaining 12 were all late-stage Spirit Sea Realm masters. A fifth-rank great sect indeed had profound foundations. At this moment, Taoist Yunyang looked at the 30 disciples with an extremely stern expression and said, "The Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb was left behind by our sect's ancestor, Heavenly Saint Linghua. It's natural that we obtain the majority of his legacy treasures. Our Cloud Sky sect is the strongest in the entire Heavenly Wind Kingdom. Although only those at the Spirit Sea Realm can enter the tomb, when it comes to strength at the Spirit Sea Realm, other sects cannot compare with us. Remember, the Heavenly Saint relics are each incredibly precious. By whatever means necessary, you must secure many of them for me. Whoever obtains the most valuable Heavenly Saint relics, I will accept as my direct disciple, and will teach them 3 heaven-rank great divine powers." Boom! Taoist Yunyang's words ignited a fiery look in the eyes of every disciple in the cave abode. To become a direct disciple of a late-stage rotating pill powerhouse, and also receive 3 heaven-rank great divine powers, was a reward that would allow them to walk proudly in the Cloud Sky sect, and even in the entire Heavenly Wind Kingdom. Not to mention, according to the rules of treasure hunting in the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb, they could keep half of the legacy treasures for themselves. The legacy treasures of Heavenly Saint Linghua must belong to our Cloud Sky sect. We will strive with all our might to seize them, 30 Cloud Sky sect disciples declared in unison. In the western region of the Heavenly Wind Kingdom, the 5th-rank great sect Flame sect. At this moment, within the cave abode of Taoist Chi Mei, a late-stage rotating pill powerhouse of the Flame sect, more than a dozen half-step rotating pill disciples were standing. As Taoist Chi Mei was speaking to these half-step rotating pill disciples, a young man dressed in a flame-colored Taoist robe suddenly walked into the cave abode. The youth appeared to be 17 or 18 years old, and his realm seemed to be only mid-stage Spirit Sea Realm, but upon seeing this young man, even the half-step rotating pill disciples in the cave abode changed their expressions. Clearly, this youngster had an extraordinary background. "Yenner, you've finally come out of cultivation. The exploration of the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb is about to start." Seeing the flame-robed youth, Taoist Chi Mei's smile couldn't be contained. He waved his hand to have the other half-step rotating pill disciples leave the cave, leaving only the flame-robed youth inside. "How about it, Yenner? Have you successfully refined the soul-devouring true fire?" Taoist Chi Mei asked the flame-robed youth. The flame-robed youth extended his palm, and in the center, a cluster of purple flames gently pulsed. The youth spoke indifferently, "Master, rest assured, on this trip to the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb, no one will be a match for Yenner." This youth was none other than Lu Yen, the renowned genius of the entire 5th-rank great sect, Flame sect. He had the strength to suppress half-step rotating pill powerhouses while only at mid-stage Spirit Sea Realm, and was also the direct disciple of Taoist Chi Mei. Chapter 193, Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb. In the southern region of the Heavenly Wind Kingdom, there lies the 5th-rank great sect of the Moon Concealing sect. The Moon Concealing sect was not only famous for being one of the 3 greatest 5th-rank sects in the Heavenly Wind Kingdom, but even more so for only accepting female disciples. The fact that the Moon Concealing sect only accepted female disciples places it just one late-stage rotating pill realm expert short of the Cloud Sky sect. Yet, in all other aspects, whether in terms of the strength of mid-stage or early-stage rotating pill realm experts or Spirit Sea Realm experts, the Moon Concealing sect is on par with the Cloud Sky sect and the Flame sect. In a quiet valley of the Moon Concealing sect, a beautiful little girl of about 7 or 8 years old, resembling a porcelain doll, was sitting cross-legged, cultivating. Despite her young age, her little face was filled with seriousness as she practiced. Around her neck hung a small string of bells that tinkled from time to time as the wind blew. Not far from the little girl, a woman in palace attire was seated, watching the young child cultivate with affection. Suddenly, a woman wearing 5-colored cloud clothes flew into the valley. The woman in the 5-colored cloud clothes was none other than the strongest of the 5th-rank great sect of the Moon Concealing sect, Fairy and Aisya. With cultivation reaching the late stages of the rotating pill realm, after Fairy and Aisya flew into the valley, she landed next to the woman in palace attire and smiled as she looked towards the little girl who was cultivating. Junior sister, little Ding Dang is now much more serious about her cultivation than when she first arrived at the sect. The woman in palace attire lifted her head and looked at Fairy and Aisya. Senior sister, did you come here this time because of the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb? Junior sister, the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb can only be entered by those in the Spirit Sea realm. You didn't successfully break through to the rotating pill realm years ago, and thus remained in the half-step rotating pill stage. However, over the years, your external cultivation has made great progress. In the entire Heavenly Wind Kingdom, no half-step rotating pill could be your match. With such strength, it would be a pity to miss out on the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb. Even if not for me, you should consider little Ding Dang. I promise you, any benefits you obtain in the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb, other than those that can help me reach the Heavenly Saint realm, I will not touch a single bit of it. Everything else will be left for little Ding Dang. As Fairy and Aisya spoke, the woman in palace attire raised her hand to stop her words and gently smiled. It's all right, senior sister. I have already made up my mind over these days. Since senior sister insists, I shall take a trip to the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb. As the woman in palace attire spoke, her eyes also shone with unwavering confidence. Little Ding Dang, just wait for your aunt to bring back the treasures of the Heavenly Saint for you, to aid in your cultivation. The Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb that only those in Spirit Sea realm could enter? She, Nishang, had already reached the late stages of the Spirit Sea realm over 300 years ago. Although her attempt to break through to the rotating pill realm failed, leaving her no hope of advancement, how could she miss an opportunity to help her beloved little Ding Dang gain good fortune? The three great fifth-rank sects were all searching for their most valued person, preparing to enter the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb. The sixth-rank sects of the same rank as Yichen's Taishan sect in other regions, such as Peach Blossom Valley of the southern region of the Heavenly Wind Kingdom and the Defying Beast sect of the northern region, were also making preparations. There were also 43 seventh-rank sections. Although each sect was allocated only 3 spots to enter the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb, they would not miss such an opportunity. The disciples they selected were all beyond the late stages of the Spirit Sea realm. Even the loose cultivator, Taoist Wine Sword, who was seeking 30 people to enter the tomb, had found candidates stronger than one could imagine. These loose cultivators, many of whom were half-step rotating pill experts that had left great sects after failing to advance, as well as individual talents used to cultivating alone, possessed abilities and combat experiences even more fearsome than those of the sect disciples. When the 1-month period for gathering the adventurers destined for the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb came to an end, all eligible parties had found their final candidates. The 3 great fifth-rank sects, the loose cultivator Taoist Wine Sword, each would send 30 people into the tomb. The 10 sixth-rank sects, each would send 10 people into the tomb. The 43 seventh-rank sects, each would send 3 people into the tomb. By the end of the final day, all 349 people scheduled to enter the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb had been fully assembled. Depart. Head to the Demon Burial Abyss's Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb to seize the treasures of the Heavenly Saints. On the plaza in front of the Cloud Sky sect of the 5th-rank Great Sect, beings like Yunyang and Taoist Yunfang, other rotating pill realm experts, were leading the way. The 30 Cloud Sky sect disciples, selected to enter the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb, were following behind. Additionally, countless other disciples, who yearned to see the Demon Burial Abyss themselves, transformed into trails of flight light, speeding towards the Demon Burial Abyss. Depart! Depart! Boom! 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 Countless figures from the 5th-rank Great Sects, the Flame Sect and Moon Concealing Sect, also left their sects and flew towards the Demon Burial Abyss. Eventually, from across the entire Heavenly Wind Kingdom territory, light trails of various great sects were all headed towards the Demon Burial Abyss. Above the Taishan sect within the 8 great inner peaks. As the day to head to the Demon Burial Abyss's Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb finally arrived, the Taishan sect too was a gathering of power and purpose. Yichun, Jiangyao, Shuijia, and even the seldom seen number 1 on the Taishan sect spirit ranking, Jin Liang, made an appearance above the 8 great inner peaks. Jin Liang appeared as a young man in a golden Taoist robe, but Yichun had heard from Fairy Jialuo that Jin Liang had stepped into the half-step rotating pill realm over 70 years ago, and his actual age had long since surpassed a century. Yichun had heard that Jin Liang had even cultivated a set of high-grade martial arts techniques of the Earth tier, which was extraordinarily powerful. When Jin Liang arrived above the 8 inner peaks, and as Yichun took notice of him, he also looked specifically towards Yichun. Jin Liang knew that Yichun was highly valued by Fairy Jialuo and the various peak masters, and even his own peak master had specially mentioned Yichun's name to him. Yichun. Just as everyone was preparing to set off for the Heavenly Saint ancient tomb, suddenly a figure flew towards the sky. Sister Yu. Yichun looked towards the figure and saw that it was Sister Yu who had taught him the sword formation technique. Although Sister Yu had said she had no intention of going to the Heavenly Saint ancient tomb, he didn't know why she had also come over today. Sister Yu flew to Yichun's side, and looking at him with a light smile, she said, Yichun, this trip to the Heavenly Saint ancient tomb might last a long time. I have 4 sword formations here that you haven't cultivated yet. Take them with you, and if you have spare time in the tomb, continue to cultivate the sword formations. Once you come out of the tomb, I will see if your sword formation cultivation has improved. For sword formations? Yichun took the small box that Sister Yu handed to him and opened it. Ding, 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 ding. Inside the box, numerous sword intent law beads lightly chimed. Yichun looked at the names of the 4 sword formations listed inside the small box and saw that they were the Intermediate Sword Formation, Heavenly Gang Sword Formation, the Intermediate Sword Formation, Minor Thousand Sword Formation, the Advanced Sword Formation, Sword Fusion Divine Ability, and the Advanced Sword Formation, 10,000 Swords Divine Ability. The 4 sword formations Yichun currently mastered were all just lower-tier ones. This time, Sister Yu had even given him the sword intent law beads for intermediate and advanced sword formations. With these sword formation law beads, Yichun would be able to resume his sword formation cultivation once he entered the Heavenly Saint ancient tomb. Thank you, Sister Yu. Yichun put away the sword formations and smiled as he thanked Sister Yu. When everyone ready to head to the demon burial abyss was assembled, Fairy Jialuo gave the order, "Let's go." Yichun, Jiangyao, and all the rest turned into startling glimmers of escaping light, flying towards the demon burial abyss. Who knows what kind of gains Yichun and the others will come across this time? Sister Yu, watching the fading streaks of light, stood in the sky and murmured to herself. On the day of the exploration of the Heavenly Saint ancient tomb, the area outside the demon burial abyss had already gathered countless people. Even sects that weren't qualified to enter the Heavenly Saint ancient tomb had countless cultivators come to this place. They certainly wouldn't miss this major event of exploring the Heavenly Saint ancient tomb. Even if they couldn't gain any benefit, they were more than satisfied just to watch the excitement. Among the crowd, even the sect leader and elders of the Qingyun sect, the 8th rank sect Yichun had belonged to, were there. Amidst the numerous onlookers, people kept flying in. The entire area outside the demon burial abyss was bustling with activity. Outside the demon burial abyss, it was a bustling scene. But what no one knew was that, hidden deep within the caverns of the demon burial abyss, in a dark giant coffin within the most inner part of this mystical tomb space, there was a vast swamp that continuously churned with giant black bubbles. In the center of the swamp lay a bronze giant coffin larger than a small hill, bound tightly by 8 huge chains, each chain extending in 8 different directions. Each of the 8 massive chains locking the bronze giant coffin was over a kilometer long and several meters thick, and the chains were carved with innumerable ancient rune talismans. The most distinctive feature was the bronze giant coffin itself, locked by the 8 massive chains. The entire bronze coffin, over 800 meters in length and 300 meters in width, had the exterior engraved with 8 terrifying demon figures with green faces and fangs. If someone familiar with the 10 great demon sects of the Western Desolation saw these 8 demon figures, They would realize that these demons were the supreme totems of the defying demon sect among the 10 great demon sects, the 8 great demon towers. The totems of the demon sects, unexpectedly appearing on this giant coffin, and even within this heavenly saint ancient tomb, together with the 8 chains full of ancient rune talismans and the swamp rolling with giant black bubbles. The entire ancient tomb exuded an eerie aura from every corner. Chapter 194. All arrive. The eeriness of the ancient tomb was unknown to everyone outside. Everyone was brimming with excitement for the day they would explore the heavenly saint ancient tomb. Boom! 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 Just as noisy clamor surrounded the demon burial abyss, the first sect qualified to enter the heavenly saint ancient tomb finally arrived above the void of the demon burial abyss. The 6th-ranked great sect of the northern region, Cloud Soaring Sect, has arrived. Countless people gathered around the demon burial abyss turned their gazes towards the Cloud Soaring Sect. Leading the Cloud Soaring Sect was its strongest member, Taoist Wu Xian, who was in the mid-stage of the rotating pill realm. Following behind him were 30 to 40 members of Cloud Soaring Sect, among whom 10 were Spirit Sea Realm disciples, each with excitement shining in their eyes. These 10 were precisely the ones the Cloud Soaring Sect would send into the heavenly saint ancient tomb. Not long after the arrival of the Cloud Soaring Sect, one after another, teams started to arrive: the 6th-ranked Great Sect, Beast Control Sect; the 7th-ranked Great Sect, Snowblade Gate; the 7th-ranked Great Sect, Heavenly Fragrance Valley, and so on. All came to the skies above the demon burial abyss. When there was but an hour left before the final moment to enter the heavenly saint ancient tomb, the space above the demon burial abyss was densely packed with teams from various sects. Especially when the 5th-ranked Great Sect, Cloud Sky Sect, arrived, the entire void boiled over. The 30 members that Cloud Sky Sect would send into the heavenly saint ancient tomb were too formidable, with 18 half-step rotating pill powerhouses and 12 late-stage Spirit Sea Realm powerhouses. This force alone was stronger than many sects in the heavenly Wind Kingdom. A 5th-ranked Great Sect is indeed worthy of its reputation. Such a force entering the ancient tomb, other sects will have difficulty competing with them. Probably only the other 2 5th-ranked sects can contend with them to some extent. Most of the heavenly saint relics will likely fall into the hands of the 3 great 5th-ranked sects. Amidst the discussions of the crowd, another 5th-ranked great sect, Fire Flame Sect, also arrived. Haha! Taoist brother Yun Yang and Taoist brother Yun Fong. You two have arrived quite early. Upon the arrival of the Fire Flame Sect, their strongest member Taoist Chi Mei greeted the 2 late-stage rotating pill powerhouses of the Cloud Sky Sect with a laugh. Seeing how confident brother Chi Mei appears, it seems you're quite assured about obtaining the heavenly saint relics. Taoist Yun Yang smiled and nodded to Taoist Chi Mei while looking over at the Fire Flame Sect's team. Upon noticing that the person standing at the forefront of the Fire Flame Sect was not a half-step rotating pill practitioner but a 17 or 18-year-old youth in a fire-robed Taoist garment, Taoist Yun Yang's brows furrowed slightly. He sensed an extraordinary true fire power within the boy. I had heard that Chi Mei has taken in a talented personal disciple skilled in fire-based techniques, supposedly called Lu Yen. Could it be this young man? True fire power is a force that touches upon the heavenly grade. I wonder which true fire technique he is cultivating. After muttering to himself for a moment, Taoist Yun Yang transmitted a warning to the disciples in his team who were about to enter the ancient tomb. Clearly, he was instructing his sect's disciples to be wary of Lu Yen. Meanwhile, Fire Flame Sect's youth in the fire robe, Lu Yen, also cast his gaze towards the Cloud Sky Sect's team, his eyes flashing with a sharp light. Just as the 2 5th-ranked sects were gauging each other's strength, Yi Chen, Jiang Yao, and others finally arrived above the demon burial abyss, led by Fairy Jia Luo. The demon burial abyss. It's said to be a gigantic abyss formed by the remnants left behind from a great battle of heavenly saint powerhouses. Yi Chen stood in the midst of the team, high up in the sky, looking at the demon burial abyss. Upon seeing the abyss that stretched hundreds of miles in length and was a massive 7 or 8 miles wide, he couldn't help but exclaim at its enormity. He had already heard about several great deeds of the heavenly saints. This immense demon burial abyss, split open by 2 grand heavenly saints, was one such deed. Another was the peerless heavenly saint hermit who drove the 10 great demon sects out of the southern territory and carved out heavenly demon gorge across the sky, spanning thousands of miles and separating the southern territory from the western wilds territory. The strength of the heavenly saints was beyond Yi Chen's imagination. It was enough to alter the entire continent's landscape. We're about to enter the heavenly saint ancient tomb. I really don't know what this tomb, where such immensely powerful heavenly saint powerhouses are buried, will be like. Yi Chen felt a surge of excitement in his heart. Jia Luo, you've arrived as well. The arrival of the Taishan sect made the powerhouses in the sky come over to Fairy Jia Luo. Fairy Jia Luo was one of the 6 grand powerhouses of the entire heavenly wind kingdom. So naturally, she was given great attention by everyone. However, Yi Chen and the other disciples of the Taishan sect, under the brilliance of the 5th-ranked great sect's disciples, went mostly unnoticed. The most was the incomparably beautiful Zhang Yao, who made many sect disciples unable to stop sizing her up, as well as Jin Liang, who was only half a step into the rotating pill realm, drawing the attention of several people. Yi Chen, who was only at the early stage of the spirit sea realm, did not attract any attention at all. Even if someone's gaze swept over him, they thought he was just a Taishan sect disciple who had followed to watch the excitement, and no one expected him to be sent into the heavenly saint ancient tomb. Yi Chen's reputation was well known within the Taishan sect and known to many in the eastern region of the Heavenly Wind Kingdom. But within the entire Heavenly Wind Kingdom, there were few who knew of him. Unnoticed, Yi Chen was of course happy to be at ease. After entering the Heavenly Saint ancient tomb, there would be competition for the Heavenly Saint relics. Being targeted was definitely not a good thing. Yi Chen merely smiled faintly as he surveyed the demon burial abyss, sizing up the teams from various sects. Haha! Everyone has indeed arrived very punctually. As the stalwarts of various sects conversed with one another, another hearty laugh echoed from the sky. The crowd looked up toward the direction of the sound and saw an old man with withered clothes and white hair, holding an ancient sword and a large wine gourd, laughing heartily as he emerged from the void. Taoist Wine Sword. This was none other than Taoist Wine Sword, one of the Heavenly Wind Kingdom's 5 great rotating pill realm late-stage powerhouses. Following behind Taoist Wine Sword were 30 figures with surging and vigorous true qi, who were evidently the 30 scattered cultivators recruited by Taoist Wine Sword to explore the tomb. These 30, in terms of strength, were not much weaker than the Cloud Sky sect, with as many as 16 of them being half-step rotating pill powerhouses. After Taoist Wine Sword arrived at the demon burial abyss, he nodded in greeting to the various strong practitioners. When his gaze swept across the sky and fell on Yi Chen, who was among the Taishan sect team, he could not help but let out a light exclamation of surprise. Yi Chen, my friend, I didn't expect that in just over 2 months, you would have stepped into the spirit sea realm. The divine consciousness voice transmission from Taoist Wine Sword directly reached Yi Chen's ears. Others might not know how formidable Yi Chen was, but as a strong practitioner who had observed the Taishan sect's true disciple selection convention and even invited Yi Chen to participate in the Spirit Sea Realm swordfighting convention, Taoist Wine Sword naturally had an extremely deep impression of Yi Chen's strength. Elder Wine Sword, Yi Chen replied with a light smile, greeting Taoist Wine Sword with a voice transmission of divine consciousness. Impressive, having truly advanced to the Spirit Sea Realm in just over 2 months. It seems that this time, you are to be sent by the Jia Luo faction into the ancient tomb. Taoist Wine Sword, hearing Yi Chen's voice transmission, nodded with a smile. My friend Yi Chen, although I have great faith in your strength, you must still be careful after entering the tomb. The heavenly saint relics are not so easily seized, and you must be especially wary of other sect disciples and even these scattered cultivators I have brought with me. Murder and robbery over the heavenly saint relics will not be rare. Taoist Wine Sword even took the time to warn Yi Chen through voice transmission. Yi Chen smiled faintly. Thank you, Elder, for the advice. I will be careful. Seeing the smile on Yi Chen's face, Taoist Wine Sword felt a stir in his heart and then laughed heartily through voice transmission. It seems I have worried too much. My friend, You must have several tricks up your sleeve to dare to venture into this tomb. Good, good. After entering the tomb, there's no need for formalities. If there are relics, of course, you should compete for them. The Heavenly Saint relics. Ah, if it wasn't for rotating pill realm practitioners being unable to enter, I would be eager to venture deep inside myself. My friend Yi-chun, you also need not worry about my face. Among these scattered cultivators I've brought, not a few have hands stained with fresh blood. I am involved with them only due to the business of the tomb's relics. If they cause you trouble, feel free to fight them if you can. Understood, Yi-chun said with a smile. Their exchanges of divine consciousness went unnoticed by others. If the other sect disciples and scattered cultivators knew that Taoist Winesword, one of the top 5 rotating pill realm late-stage powerhouses in the entire Heavenly Wind Kingdom, was giving such careful instructions to a mere early Spirit Sea realm disciple, they all would be profoundly shocked. No one about to enter the tomb would dare to underestimate Yi-chun anymore. When the last team from the third-ranking 5th-grader Moon Concealing Sect also arrived, the outside of the Demon Burial Abyss reached its peak of excitement. On one hand, all the personnel who would be entering the tomb had arrived, and on the other, the Moon Concealing Sect's team simply drew unparalleled attention. The Moon Concealing Sect, a great 5th-grade sect that accepted only female disciples, had brought female disciples this time, each one beautiful and enchanting, with practitioners possessing the technique to maintain youth and with the nourishment of heaven and earth treasures. These female disciples were each curvaceous and buxom, with petite waists. One coming alone might not cause too much astonishment, but a large group of such female disciples arriving together seemed to bring a waft of fragrance through the air. The multitude of sect disciples at the Demon Burial Abyss were all fired up with passion. When the leaders of several major sects saw Fairy Anaisia of the Moon Concealing Sect accompanied by a palace-dressed woman, many were stopped in their tracks. Fairy Nishang. They recognized the woman beside Fairy Anaisia. This woman had once traveled all over the Heavenly Wind Kingdom with Fairy Anaisia, lauded as one of the mighty figures known as the Moon Concealing Twins. After Fairy Nishang failed to break through to the rotating pill realm, she gradually vanished from the field of vision of the strong practitioners of the Heavenly Wind Kingdom. And now, for this tomb exploration, Fairy Nishang had come out of seclusion. Having been a half-step rotating pill powerhouse for 200 to 300 years, her strength, although somewhat inferior compared to true rotating pill practitioners due to her failed attempt at the realm, could be said to be virtually unbeatable among those in the Spirit Sea realm. After all, Fairy Nishang was a peer of Fairy Anaisia. For a moment, even Taoist Qi Mei furrowed his brows and began to warn his most prized disciple, Lu Yen. Countless gazes fell upon her, but the palace-dressed Fairy Nishang remained unmoved in expression, her eyes only on the dark chasm of the Demon Burial Abyss, as she awaited the commencement of entering the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb. Chapter 195. Entering the Tomb. When all the teams had gathered, the 6 powerful beings flew to the highest point and looked down at everyone around the Demon Burial Abyss. Teams hovered in the void, and beside them, there were many strong cultivators and independents from various sects, come to watch the adventure. On the ground below, there were even numerous true Qi realm disciples who had come for the spectacle. Among the 6 powerful ones, Yunyang, after scanning the crowd, stepped forward. Since everyone is here, let's not delay entering the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb. All those selected to enter the tomb, step forward. I have some matters to caution you about. Following Yunyang's words, the selected individuals from teams of the Cloud Sky Sect, Flame Sect, Moon Concealing Sect, and others, flew out from their groups to the area in the void he had indicated. Yi-chun, holding Jiang Yao's hand, along with Jin Liang, Xuejia, and others, also flew out. Many were surprised to see Yi-chun flying to the area designated for those entering the tomb. Even more eyes widened in shock when they saw Yi-chun holding Jiang Yao's hand. Who is this youngster? He's in the early stage of the Spirit Sea realm and got selected to enter the tomb? Even the weakest disciples sent by 7th-rank sects are in the mid-stage of the Spirit Sea realm. Is he from the Taishan sect? The girl he's holding, I recognize her. She's the top talent of the Heavenly Wind Kingdom's eastern region, Zhang Yao. Good heavens! When did Zhang Yao start fancying someone? While many were astonished upon noticing Yi Chen, a group on the ground was left utterly speechless. This group was comprised of the sect leader and elders of the Qingyun sect. As members of an 8th-rank sect, although they too were of the Spirit Sea realm, they had no qualifications to enter the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb. They had come merely to observe the excitement. They were already somewhat startled to see Yi Chen in the Taishan sect's team, but when they saw that he was actually selected to be sent into the tomb, they couldn't believe their eyes. Yi Chen had been a disciple of their Qingyun sect. It was because they feared Zhou Yuntian that they had stripped Yi Chen of his nominal disciple status. Now, not only had Yi Chen joined the Taishan sect, but he was also so highly regarded within it. Although they were present when Yi Chen executed Zhou Yuntian, and were shocked by his talents, how much time had passed since then for Yi Chen to be able to enter the tomb and compete with late-stage Spirit Sea realm powerhouses and even half-step rotating Pill realm experts? As the sect leader and elders of the Qingyun sect, they wouldn't dare to provoke such figures. The Qingyun sect's leader and elders were greatly astonished, but if they knew that Yi Chen's name was now ringing clear in the 6th-rank Grand Taishan sect, that he could slay them without lifting a finger, they would be even more startled into a faint. They had pushed such a peerless talent out of the Qingyun sect. Yi Chen's entrance into the tomb personnel area stirred up much discussion and surprised many who recognized him. But soon, their astonishment was overshadowed by more important matters, because Yunyang of the Cloud Sky sect, a late-stage rotating Pill realm powerhouse, finally began to announce the rules for entering the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb. When Yunyang drew forth the white jade spirit plaque that he had obtained from the Gate of Life of the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb, all eyes converged on the plaque in his hand. Yunyang, waving the white jade spirit plaque, declared loudly, "This tomb, as we've discovered, belongs to our sect's ancestor, Heavenly Saint Linghua." Heavenly Saint Linghua was a famous Heavenly Saint powerhouse in our Heavenly Wind Kingdom. His ancient tomb is a great blessing for our entire kingdom. This great blessing is precious, but it is also limited. Today, those who have been chosen to ultimately enter the tomb have all assembled. They will venture into the tomb to seek this great fortune and opportunity. As Yunyang spoke, all eyes focused on the 349 individuals who were about to enter the tomb. The tomb's blessings, the tomb's treasures, gifts from the Heavenly Saint. Everyone desires these things. Even us rotating Pill realm powerhouses yearn for them. So, once you enter the tomb, whatever treasures you obtain will depend on your own skills. The more you obtain, the more you will be able to claim when you emerge from the tomb. Hereby I announce, once inside the tomb, there will be no restrictions on killing, no sect rules to follow. Everything will be judged by the final acquisition of treasures. Feuds within the tomb once you come out, even we, the outsiders and strong cultivators, will not pursue them. Boom! Yunyang's declaration caused a buzz of conversation among all present. Although everyone was aware that there would be a bloodbath in the tomb over the Heavenly Saint relics, they didn't expect Yunyang to outright declare the absence of restrictions on the upcoming conflict. Looking at the expressions of the other 5 powerful beings, there was not the slightest hint of surprise. Clearly, this decision had the consensus of all the strong cultivators. It seemed that, for the sake of the ancient tomb's treasures, these powerhouses cared little for the lives of many disciples who would die within the tomb. The 10 great demon sects of the Western Wasteland have not waged war with the 13 states of the Southern Kingdoms for hundreds of years, leading to increasing divisions within the Southern Kingdoms. It seems that, among the sect powerhouses, there is no unity, and for the sake of relics, they spare no effort in bringing the struggle into the open. In the crowd, Yi Chen, hearing Yunyang's words, sighed inwardly. He gripped Zhang Yao's hand tightly and exchanged a glance with her. No matter what, he would not let Zhang Yao come to any harm within the tomb. Chapter 196. Some dared to fight against him and Zhang Yao. Some dared to compete with them for treasures. For such actions, he would spare no mercy. He, Yi Chen, was not a man who feared trouble. As Yi Chen and Zhang Yao exchanged glances, The others who were about to enter the ancient tomb also revealed a wild glint in their eyes. In this tremendous blessing, they would of course strive to fight for it, and the rotating pill realm powerhouses behind them also left them no choice but to fight with all their might. In the midst of the buzzing discussions, Taoist Yunyang continued, "Through this white jade spirit plaque, there are a few more points I need to emphasize. According to the records on the white jade spirit plaque, there will be only an hour's time to enter the gate of life. Once you pass through the gate of life and are transported into the ancient tomb, the entire tomb will be completely sealed off, and the exploration will last 5 months. 5 months is the time you have to search for the ancient tomb's relics. When the time is up, the exit of the tomb will reopen, and you will all be transported out of the tomb. Whether you have obtained the Heavenly Saint's relics or not, you won't have another chance to search for treasures. Remember, you only have 5 months of exploration and treasure hunting time inside the Heavenly Saint's ancient tomb." The second point is that according to the spirit plaque, the entire tomb will be divided into 3 regions. Heavenly Saint Linghua has placed his 3 levels of relics in these 3 areas. The first area is the Spirit Sea Relic area, where the relics Heavenly Saint Linghua used while in the Spirit Sea realm are placed. The second area is the Rotating Pill Relic area. As for the third region, it is the Heavenly Saint Relic area. The deeper you venture into these 3 areas, the more precious the relics become. In these 5 months, strive to break into the Heavenly Saint Relic area to seize the most precious Heavenly Saint relics. Spirit Sea Relic area, Rotating Pill Relic area, Heavenly Saint Relic area. Upon hearing about these 3 areas in the ancient tomb, all the explorers' hearts ignited with eagerness. The various relics of the Heavenly Saint, even the lowest-level Spirit Sea relics, were of great use to them, let alone the Rotating Pill relics and the Heavenly Saint relics. Of course, they would use all their strength to compete for them. There is one last point. At this moment, Taoist Yunyang continued, "That is, only those in the Spirit Sea realm can enter this ancient tomb. You may have various rotating pill-level spirit talismans bestowed by the powerhouses of your sects, but once you enter the tomb, all these external spirit talismans will become ineffective, and you will have to rely on your own strength to compete for relics, not external power. Of course, if you possess even stronger Heavenly Saint-level treasures, then congratulations, you can use them, because Heavenly Saint Linghua himself was of the Heavenly Saint level. He certainly cannot prevent the use of Heavenly Saint-level treasures." Boom! The words of Taoist Yunyang caused the complexions of many sect disciples to change drastically. Indeed, as Taoist Yunyang had said, they had offensive and defensive spirit talismans given to them by the powerhouses of their sect, as a means to have an advantage in the tomb, but now, to their surprise, these external means could not be used at all. Heavenly Saint-level treasures? Their entire sect didn't possess a Heavenly Saint. How could they have Heavenly Saint treasures? In this scene, probably only the Cloud Sky sect might have Heavenly Saint treasures. After all, Heavenly Saint Linghua was originally from the Cloud Sky sect. Thinking of this, many turned their gazes toward the members of the Cloud Sky sect going into the tomb. At this moment, these Cloud Sky sect disciples appeared indifferent, showing no signs as to whether they had Heavenly Saint treasures or not. Heavenly Saint treasures? In the crowd, upon hearing Taoist Yunyang's words, Yi Chen's heart stirred, and he subtly touched a pair of bracelets on his hand, nodding imperceptibly. This pair of bracelets was once refined by the artifact spirit with his essence blood within a secret realm of his ancestral land. They might come in handy. It's a pity that this bracelet was bound to me by the artifact spirit and only I can use it. Otherwise giving some law beads to Jiang Yao would have been better, Yi Chen murmured to himself. After touching the bracelet, Yi Chen turned his gaze back to Taoist Yunyang. Having finished explaining all the precautions for entering the ancient tomb, Taoist Yunyang finally announced, "Now, everyone follow us 6 into the demon burial abyss and enter the ancient tomb." Boom! 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 After Taoist Yunyang spoke, he took the lead and flew into the demon burial abyss, with Taoist Yunfang, Taoist Winesword, and the others following suit. When Fairy Jialuo also soared toward the demon burial abyss, a voice from her reached the minds of both Yi Chen and Jiang Yao simultaneously. "Yi Chen Yaoer, after entering the ancient tomb, be very cautious. It's not about seizing the most treasures, but surviving is what truly matters. Yes, sect leader. Master Yaoer understands. Yichun and Zhang Yao exchanged a glance and sent their responses back to Fairy Jialuo through telepathy. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. As the 6 great powers flew into the demon burial abyss, all the others in the area designated for tomb entrance also took off toward the pitch-black abyss. Soon, everyone vanished into the dark mists of the demon burial abyss. Outside the demon burial abyss, countless figures looked into its depths, seeing nothing but darkness. The hundreds of figures had already followed the lead of the 6 great powers and flown down more than 1,000 zhang into the abyss. Is this the demon burial abyss? As he flew, Yichun observed the pitch-black demon burial abyss with his divine sense, felt the fierce winds within, and watched the demons and mighty monsters scatter in panic because of the large crowd. It wasn't long before they arrived at the cave holding 3 dark coffins. After the 6 great powers lifted the seals at the cave's entrance, figure after figure flew into the cave, entering through the door on the far right, designated as the tomb entrance of life. After their final communication with Fairy Jialuo, Yichun and Zhang Yao joined the massive crowd and entered the door as well. Once everyone had entered through the tomb entrance of life, and after being teleported into the ancient tomb's realm via a transportation circle inside it, the 3rd coffin slammed shut with a loud bang. The entrance to the entire ancient tomb was completely sealed. Heavenly Saints' ancient tomb. Who knows what they will find in the Heavenly Saints' ancient tomb this time? We'll see the outcome in 5 months. The 6 mighty beings sat down in meditation next to the dark giant coffins, glancing once more at the sealed entryway, then settling down right at the entrance. Practitioners of the rotating pill realm, who possess thousands of lifespan years, often spend 2 to 3 years in a single meditation session, so the mere 5 months of this tomb exploration wouldn't drive them away. Naturally, they would wait here, anticipating the return of their people with the coveted Heavenly Saint relics. While the 6 rotating pill realm great powers sat in meditation deep within the cave, outside the demon burial abyss, some powers had left, but even more mighty beings remained, waiting for the 5 months to pass. Meanwhile, Yichun, Zhang Yao, Fairy Nishang, Lu Yen, and the other 349 tomb explorers, after a dizzying teleportation, were finally all transported into the mysterious and eerie realm of the ancient tomb. Chapter 197. The Beast and the Island. Have I already entered the Heavenly Saint ancient tomb? When Yichun's divine sense recovered from the dizziness of the teleportation, he found himself sitting on the back of a giant flying beast. This was a huge eagle-like creature that measured a full kilometer in length, but bizarrely, it exhibited no signs of life. It was actually a flying puppet. Besides Yichun, there were 32 other people on the back of the beast, but all of them still appeared dazed, seemingly yet to recover from the disorientation of the teleportation. Where is Zhang Yao? Yichun swept his divine sense over the 32 people but couldn't find Zhang Yao among the crowd. He had entered the giant coffin teleportation formation with Zhang Yao, but now she had vanished. Not only was Zhang Yao nowhere to be found, but the other individuals of the 349 who had entered the tomb were also missing. A feeling of surprise began to rise in Yichun's mind. Looking around, Yichun was shocked to find that he was in the high skies, with nothing below him but the massive flying eagle puppet, and above him loomed a gloomy and dull sky. Looking down, he could see a vast expanse of the ocean. Immediately after entering the Heavenly Saint ancient tomb, had he been teleported above the ocean? Where was this giant beast taking them? As Yichun surveyed his surroundings, several half-step rotating pill realm experts on the beast's back also gradually revived. Upon awakening, they quickly spread out their divine senses to inspect their surroundings. Discovering there were only a few dozen of them on the back of the beast, flying over the ocean, they all uttered soft sounds of surprise. Soon after, the other individuals on the beast's back completely came to. Is this the Heavenly Saint ancient tomb? God! Such vast heaven and earth. We are actually above an ocean. Legend has it that the Heavenly Saint powerhouses could comprehend the laws of space and create a world of their own. But who would have thought that just an ancient tomb could be this massive? And where are the others? Why are there only the few dozen of us here? After awakening, these individuals examined their surroundings, and each of them started expressing their astonishment and doubt. Just as all 33 people on the back of the beast woke up, the flying beast suddenly turned its head and opened its mouth to spray something into the void. In an instant, 33 wooden tokens flew directly towards the group. Each person caught a wooden token. The moment Yi Chen's hand touched the wooden token, a flood of complex characters surged into his mind. After closing his eyes for a moment to digest this information, he then opened his eyes. So that's how it is. From the information conveyed by the wooden token from the giant beast, Yi Chen finally understood why there were only 33 of them here. According to the token, everyone who entered the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb would land on a flying giant beast, with a total of 10 such beasts taking 10 different groups of tomb explorers to 10 separate islands. These islands constituted the outermost area of the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb, known as the Spirit Sea Relic Zone. Yi Chen's group was on the 4th flying giant beast and was headed for the 4th sea island, where they had the opportunity to search for the relics within the Spirit Sea Relic Zone. As stated on the token, there was a total of 1 month of treasure hunting time on the 4th sea island. After a month, the second area of the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb, the Rotating Pill Relic Zone, would open. This rotating pill relic zone was situated on a giant island in the very center, encircled by the 10 islands. Regardless of the number of tomb explorers on each island, only 10 individuals would have a chance to enter the rotating pill relic zone, totaling 100 people from the 10 islands who could ultimately reach the central giant island. As for the most important Heavenly Saint Relic Zone, its location wasn't specified on the token. Perhaps only after setting foot in the rotating pill relic zone could one possibly learn more. The selection of the 10 who could enter the central giant island from each of the outer islands would depend on hunting the giant beasts. According to the record on the token, not only did each of the 10 islands harbor various relics, but numerous giant beasts also resided there. During the 1 month on the outer islands, explorers would search for relics and hunt the beasts. In the end, the number of beasts hunted would be recorded on these tokens. When the month was up, those who had slain the most beasts, the top 10 from each island, would be able to use the teleportation formation between the outer islands and the central island to enter the central giant island. Moreover, the token stated that any thoughts of entering the central island through flight were futile. Throughout the entire expanse of the ancient tomb, except for the realms of the outer and central giant islands, all other areas were under flight restrictions. Even with abilities to soar through the skies or burrow through the earth, none could fly within the tomb's confines, let alone cross the islands by flight to reach the central giant island. Even the ocean's airspace was under flight restrictions, which was why they were being carried by the giant beast into the islands. Nor was it possible to reach the central giant island by crossing the ocean waters. According to the token, if even a drop of that seawater were to touch someone, even a rotating pill realm expert would be reduced to ash. So all of us tomb explorers were divided into 10 groups and sent to 10 different islands. I wonder which group Zhang Yao is in? It seems that the only chance to meet Zhang Yao again is to wait until the central giant island opens after a month. Yi Chen had entered the tomb with the intent of exploring it with Zhang Yao, but never expected that the rules of the tomb would separate them right away. Just like Yi Chen's group, indeed 9 other groups were also within the ancient tomb's world, situated in other directions across the ocean, seated on the backs of flying beasts, heading towards other islands. Zhang Yao at this time was atop a giant beast, flying together with 35 tomb explorers toward the 8th sea island. Each batch of people challenges the islands separately. To enter the central giant island and reach the rotating pill relics area, one must wait until a month later and also be among the top 10 of their batch? Yi Chen doesn't know which sea island he has gone to. Zhang Yao was currently holding a wooden token in her hand. She looked around but didn't see Yi Chen's figure, and a barely concealable sense of loss was evident in the girl's eyes. So the area of the rotating pill relics will only open after a month, and only then can one enter the central giant island? Lu Yen from the Flame Sect, a 5th-rank major sect, who was flying to the first sea island, looked at the boundless ocean, smiled faintly, and clutched tightly onto his wooden token. Well then, let's wait for a month. It will be too easy to snatch the top 10 of this batch to qualify for entering the central giant island. Lu Yan's gaze swept over the others on the giant beast, completely unconcerned with them. Spirit Sea Relic? That suits little Ding-Dang even more than the rotating pill relics. I should look for these Spirit Sea Relics for her first. Sitting quietly at the forefront on the flying giant beast of the third batch was Fairy Nishong, whose eyes did not bother to survey the others. She only looked straight ahead. As everyone became aware of the exploration rules for the outer area of the Heavenly Saint Ancient Tomb, those seated on the 10 flying beasts finally saw the respective sea islands they were heading to appear on the horizon before them. The fourth sea island. That's the fourth sea island ahead. After flying for the duration of an incense stick, Yichen's batch finally saw the emerging sea island ahead. To call it a sea island was an understatement, as the area was immensely vast. From the sky, everyone could feel the grandeur of the sea island. As they flew closer, the sea island felt more like a continent, with roars emitting from the island from time to time. They could also occasionally see giant flying beasts rising into the sky from the island. As they approached close to the island's airspace, many people on the back of the giant beast stood up excitedly, and even a late Spirit Sea Realm disciple from the Cloud Sky sect couldn't help but step off the giant beast and fly straight onto the sea island when they were still about 30 meters away. Boom! Clearly, this overly excited disciple had forgotten about the flight restriction around the sea island. As he stepped off, he plunged straight down towards the sea. It was at this moment that the Cloud Sky sect disciple remembered that the sea water below was not to be touched. Once it was touched, even a rotating pill realm expert would be turned to ash. Restricted by the flight prohibition, he couldn't fly, and plummeting into the seawater meant certain death. The late Spirit Sea Realm disciple couldn't help but cry out in panic. Just then, a whip extended from the body of the giant beast, whooshing tens of meters in length and gently coiling around the falling disciple, whisking him back to safety on the beast's back. Back on solid ground, the pale-faced Cloud Sky sect disciple was visibly shaken. Next time, if you're not careful, no one will save you. The one who intervened was a half-step rotating pill expert from the Cloud Sky sect, who scolded towards the Spirit Sea Realm disciple. From the Cloud Sky sect disciple's fall and struggle to the half-step rotating pill disciple's rescue, it all happened in the blink of an eye. However, many on the back of the beast shuddered inwardly. What was stated on the wooden token was indeed true. The flight restriction in the tomb was extremely powerful, so much so that not even someone in the late Spirit Sea Realm had any power to resist. Boom! Finally, after a small mishap, the flying beast carrying Yichun and the 32 others safely landed on the sea island. As soon as they touched down on the island, the flying beast disappeared in a flash of light, leaving 33 people standing on the ground of the sea island. Let's go. With only a month for hunting giant beasts and treasure hunting, we must make haste. Flying is not prohibited within the sea island, so we might as well fly around and take a look. Among the 33 people, some were from the same sect and gathered together upon landing, preparing to set off into the island. Others, like Yichun, who was the only one from his sect in this batch, were planning to go solo. Yichun also planned to first look around the sea island. Just as he was about to set off like the rest, a long-haired young man stepped in front of everyone. Hehe, no need to rush off. Of the 33 people in our batch, only 10 will have the chance to enter the central giant island in the future. Wouldn't it be better to eliminate a few people right here? As the long-haired youth spoke, his mocking gaze fell on Yichun and several others. Without exception, these individuals were among the lower realms of the 33, with Yichun only at the early Spirit Sea Realm and the others being in the mid-Spirit Sea Realm. This long-haired young man seemed eager to prey on the weak as soon as they arrived on the island. Chapter 198. Take Action. Among the 33 people who came to Fourth Sea Island, there were 6 half-step rotating pill experts, 2 from the Cloud Sky sect, 2 from the Flame sect, and the other 2 were loose cultivators. Besides these 6 grand half-step rotating pill masters, the majority of the remaining were late-stage Spirit Sea Realm powerhouses. amounting to as many as 21 people. Although the moon concealing sect didn't have any half-step rotating pill experts on this fourth sea island, they had 5 female disciples whose cultivation had reached the late stage of the spirit sea realm, which constituted a formidable force. Apart from these 27, the rest were 5 mid-stage spirit sea realm martial artists from a 7th grade sect, and Yi Chun, a single early-stage spirit sea realm martial artist. The long-haired young man who blocked the path was one of the half-step rotating pill loose cultivators. There were many strong late-stage spirit sea realm experts. He wouldn't dare to provoke them, but he didn't take the few mid-stage and early-stage spirit sea competitors seriously at all. So when he spoke, he was directly targeting Yi Chun and his peers. The 5 mid-stage spirit sea realm martial artists, upon noticing the half-step rotating pill aura from the long-haired youth, all changed their expressions. "Who are you? What do you want?" "I am the loose cultivator Wang Luocheng." The long-haired youth replied with a light smile. "What do I want? The relics within the Spirit Sea relic area are limited. Naturally, I have to eliminate a few treasure hunters first. If you all kindly self-sabotage your Spirit Seas and hand over your tokens, I can spare your lives." Boom! The words of the long-haired youth immediately filled the 5 mid-stage Spirit Sea realm martial artists with rage. This long-haired youth actually demanded that they self-sabotage their Spirit Seas. To self-sabotage one's Spirit Sea is to cripple one's cultivation. It's akin to making oneself disabled. Heh, when we entered the ancient tomb, the rotating pill seniors all said murder isn't forbidden within. Don't blame us. It's only because your sects aren't strong enough to send you here. Another half-step rotating pill loose cultivator stepped forward. Upon hearing the 2 loose cultivators were about to make their move and cripple their opponents, the 5 female disciples of the moon concealing sect couldn't bear to watch. Right when they were about to step in to intervene, 2 half-step rotating pill experts from the flame sect also made their move. "Originally we didn't want to say anything, but well, these 2 brothers are right. The relics of the Spirit Sea are limited, so it's better if there are fewer people competing for them," said the 2 from the flame sect. At this moment, with 4 half-step rotating pill experts causing trouble in succession, other late-stage Spirit Sea realm powerhouses, whether willing or not, could only stand by and watch. After all, no one would dare to provoke them when these 4 half-step rotating pill experts took a stand together. Otherwise, if they were to attract trouble to themselves, that would be a big problem. Seeing such a situation unfold, the 5 mid-stage Spirit Sea realm martial artists were already pale-faced. They could never have imagined facing such a situation as soon as they entered the ancient tomb. Originally, they had all planned not to provoke anyone and not to compete for the most precious heavenly saint treasures. They simply wanted to find relics at the Spirit Sea and rotating pill levels, which would have been enough for them, but they didn't expect that they wouldn't want to court trouble, yet trouble would descend upon them. This is the especially real world of martial arts. Everything is dependent on strength. Outside, they were indeed formidable individuals, but in this tomb filled with strong figures, their strength was indeed insufficient. The 5 mid-stage Spirit Sea realm martial artists were pale-faced when the long-haired loose cultivator Wang Luocheng walked up with a cold smile, licking his lips. "What's wrong? Are you all not going to make your move? Or do I have to do it myself? Dream on if you think we'll cripple ourselves." The 5 mid-stage Spirit Sea realm martial artists looked at each other, clenched their teeth, and boom, boom, boom. True chi surged out of their bodies simultaneously, transforming into 5 violent figures, all attacking Wang Luocheng at once. "An ant trying to shake a tree," Wang Luocheng uttered indifferently. Then, with a flick of his finger, bang, 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 bang. His finger shadows crashed into the 5 attacking figures. The 5 ferocious figures were directly hit by this single finger strike, causing them to spit blood and tumble dozens of meters away, smashing heavily onto the ground. With a single move, he wounded 5 mid-stage Spirit Sea realm martial artists. This half-step rotating pill-loose cultivator Wang Luocheng was terrifyingly powerful. After striking down the 5, Wang Luocheng did not intend to stop. Walking towards them with a sneer, he said, "If you don't take action yourselves, then it won't be as simple as just crippling your Spirit Seas." Loose cultivators, indeed, each had ruthless methods. It seemed that, if they did not comply, Wang Luocheng would probably proceed to kill them. Many late-stage Spirit Sea disciples couldn't bear to watch any longer, while the other half-step rotating pill experts simply crossed their arms and coldly watched the excitement. Boom! 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 With every step Wang Luocheng took, it was as if a huge drum was being beaten in the hearts of the 5 mid-stage Spirit Sea realm martial artists, causing their complexions to grow increasingly pale. They didn't want to self-sabotage their Spirit Seas and waste years of cultivation, but this ruthless Wang Luocheng clearly wouldn't let them go without it. If they refused, their fates would likely be worse than just crippling their Spirit Seas. What to do? Their minds were completely blank. That's when a calm voice suddenly sounded. So what? If we don't cripple our Spirit Seas, are you really planning to kill us lower realm fighters? As soon as this voice spoke, it immediately attracted everyone's gaze. Everyone noticed that the one who had spoken was the youngest among them, with the lowest realm. This lowest realm young man, with only an early-stage Spirit Sea cultivation, dared to speak to the half-step rotating pills Wang Luocheng this way. Everyone saw that this lowest realm young man was facing the pressing Wang Luocheng without any sign of fear. Did he not know how formidable a half-step rotating pill expert was? Yi Chen. This youth seems to be a disciple of the Taishan sect, named Yi Chen. Does he think that just because Fairy Jia Luo of his sect is powerful, she can support him even in this ancient tomb? Provoking a half-step rotating pill in an ancient tomb means death, and once outside, no one will stand up for him. Many people were discussing in low voices. The one who stepped out to speak was, of course, Yi Chen. He too had been marked by Wang Luocheng as one of the first to be eliminated. Seeing that Wang Luocheng was truly about to make a move, Yi Chen hesitated no more and naturally stood out. Seeing Yi Chen smiling calmly at Wang Luocheng, the 5 female disciples from the moon-concealing sect watching the scene were all sweating for Yi Chen. A disciple of the Taishan sect, Yi Chen? Wang Luocheng gave Yi Chen a cold glance. I was planning to deal with those few first and then take care of you, little shrimp. So, you couldn't resist jumping out, could you? Since that's the case, I might as well eliminate you first. Wang Luocheng took a step and turned, sneering as he approached Yi Chen. As a loose cultivator, Wang Luocheng had made his way in the martial world alone, killing many with his hands. He did not take Yi Chen, who was merely at the early stages of the Spirit Sea realm, seriously at all. What's more, this was inside the ancient tomb, where even the 6 rotating pill powerhouses had said that killing was not forbidden. Kill this youth? Kill then kill. Watching Wang Luocheng approach, Yi Chen shook his head. I'll ask you once again, are you really prepared to make a move against us? What, you want to beg for mercy? Wang Luocheng sneered. It's too late for that now. Boom! With a flick of his finger, Wang Luocheng sent out a fierce finger wind, striking towards Yi Chen like a bolt of lightning. Wang Luocheng's previous finger wind could directly blow 5 mid-Spirit Sea realm martial artists away and make them spit blood. Now, the strike he launched at Yi Chen was even more terrifying than the previous one, piercing the void into a point of nothingness. Clearly, Wang Luocheng had intended to kill Yi Chen with a single move. Many onlooking sect disciples couldn't help but exclaim aloud. Just as the finger strike reached Yi Chen, everyone's vision blurred for an instant. The next moment, they saw that Yi Chen was still standing unharmed in his original spot. The finger wind aimed at Yi Chen seemed to have flashed right past his body, piercing directly through the space behind him and even destroying a large swath of giant trees on the island with its force. What's going on? How did he dodge that move? No one could see clearly how Yi Chen evaded it. An early Spirit Sea realm martial artist dodging the attack of a half-step rotating pill? That was simply impossible. At that moment, Yi Chen looked towards Wang Luocheng, whose face had instantly changed, and spoke lightly. Originally, with your strength, you could have been among the top 10 in our group and possibly make it to the central giant island. However, since you're so ruthless, I declare, your exploration of the ancient tomb ends here. Boom! Yi Chen's words sent a shock through everyone's minds. What? Was this early Spirit Sea realm powerhouse actually threatening Wang Luocheng, who was at the half-step rotating pill stage? While everyone was still confused, they were startled to see Yi-chun disappear from where he was standing and, in the next moment, appear right before Wang Luoqing. Yi-chun, who had moved instantaneously in front of Wang Luoqing, slapped out with his palm, and an immense Gang Yuan true qi roared towards Wang Luoqing. You! Wang Luoqing had just reacted and raised his hand to strike back when, to his horror, he found that an overwhelming force completely suppressed his own power. That force even sent him flying several zhang into the air, spewing out a mouthful of blood. The situation was exactly like how Wang Luoqing had injured those 5 mid-spirit sea realm martial artists previously. Wang Luoqing, at the half-step rotating pill stage, was actually sent flying by a single palm strike from Yi-chun. Boom! Watching Wang Luoqing fly backward and crash to the ground, the other half-step rotating pill cultivators all changed their expressions dramatically, and the late Spirit Sea realm powerhouses were even more shocked to cry out. And those 5 mid-Spirit Sea realm martial artists, who had been lying on the ground without hope, were now seeing something unbelievable. This early Spirit Sea realm youth had actually injured Wang Luoqing with a single palm strike. At this time, another loose cultivator at the half-step rotating pill stage, as well as the 2 flame sect half-step rotating pill powerhouses, began to move. It seemed that these individuals couldn't hold back and also wanted to take action. Then, Yi-chun looked indifferently towards these people. Whoever dares to interfere will die. Boom! Yi-chun's calm words caused the expressions of these several half-step, rotating pill cultivators to change dramatically, and they couldn't help retreating several steps backwards. Chapter 199. Awe-inspiring 4 directions. What a domineering youth. All eyes were fixed on Yi-chun as he faced the few half-step rotating pill experts with an indifferent expression, everyone feeling a chilling domineering will emanating from his soft-spoken words. Not a single person on the field doubted that if any of the half-step rotating pill warriors dared to intervene, this youth would truly strike to kill. It was this very feeling that made the other half-step rotating pill experts retreat in a rage, no longer daring to lay a hand on the youth. The 5 female disciples of the moon-concealing sect at the late stage of the Spirit Sea realm looked at Yi-chun with a mysterious light condensing in their beautiful eyes. I'm going to kill you. At that moment, Wang Luoqing, who had been sent flying with a palm strike from Yi-chun, roared as he leaped up from the ground, his massive true qi surging through his entire body as his aura began to climb wildly. As his aura ascended, the very void around Wang Luoqing was swept up in a powerful true qi storm, the immense pressure causing the giant trees on the nearby islands to rustle loudly. Accustomed only to humiliating others, now in full view of an audience, being sent flying with a palm strike by a youth at the initial stage of the Spirit Sea realm was a humiliation that Wang Luoqing, as a half-step rotating pill warrior, could not bear. He had completely unleashed his true qi, determined to kill Yi-chun fiercely to wash away the disgrace of that single palm strike. In the midst of the surging true qi, Wang Luoqing ferociously rushed toward Yi-chun. The oppressive might of a half-step rotating pill's true qi was terrifying indeed. As many disciples at the late stage of the Spirit Sea realm witnessed Wang Luoqing's state, they retreated again and again, leaving the battlefield to watch from a distance. Even the other half-step rotating pill warriors opted to avoid the conflict. Yet amidst the oppressive true qi and swirling wind, Yi-chun didn't retreat at all, the gusts billowing his clothes and sweeping his black hair back, revealing his calm visage. Facing the furiously charging Wang Luoqing, Yi-chun's hands condensed a void grip, and instantly, boundless Gang Yuan true qi whirled around him. The dazzling silver Gang Yuan true qi exploding upwards for over 100 meters, its oppressive might not the slightest bit weaker than that of the half-step rotating pill Wang Luoqing. With boundless Gang Yuan true qi around him, Yi-chun shot forward ferociously to meet Wang Luoqing's assault. Yi-chun, only at the initial stage of the Spirit Sea realm, had actually chosen to meet the half-step rotating pill Wang Luoqing head-on. Boom! 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 The 2 terrifying forces collided in the void like 2 destructive tornadoes, and after a mere instant, they slammed into each other violently. This collision compressed the air until it burst, the terrible true qi sweeping in all directions, tearing open dreadful fissures in the earth and snapping distant giant trees with a crash. The spectators from afar, including the weakest 5 mid-stage Spirit Sea disciples, were swept up by the mere residual force of the collision, sent flying helplessly through the air. Such a formidable collision of true qi. All eyes turned to Yichun and Wang Luocheng, who were directly clashing, to see who would emerge superior in the raw contest of true qi power. To their shock, all onlookers gaped in astonishment. Yichun, merely at the initial stage of the Spirit Sea realm, had once again sent the half-step rotating pill Wang Luocheng flying dozens of meters, crashing harshly into the earth and creating a tremendous crater several dozens of feet across. In contrast, Yichun had only retreated slightly after the impact, still suspended in the void. In this direct clash of power, Yichun, at the initial stage of the Spirit Sea realm, had clearly gained the upper hand. Powerful. Simply too powerful. This youth, no wonder he dares to confront a half-step rotating pill. His power is so immense he can even suppress a half-step rotating pill. Many of the late-stage Spirit Sea powerhouses could hardly believe their eyes and exclaimed in disbelief. The other half-step rotating pill experts, who had earlier entertained thoughts of attacking Yichun, now saw Wang Luocheng smashed into the ground once more, and their hearts pounded with alarm. They recalled Yichun's earlier warning that whoever dared to intervene would die, which had impressed them with his domineering presence. But now, they truly felt Yichun's strength. This boy could actually have the potential to kill them. Yichun's direct confrontation had shocked all spectators, giving everyone a testament to his strength. When Yichun was at the 12th layer of true qi, he could battle the half-step rotating pill Shuejia. The few half-step rotating pills on the 4th Sea Island all had auras similar to Shuejia's. And when Yichun stepped into the Spirit Sea realm, he absorbed the immense and unparalleled spirit cloud of true qi that spanned 72 miles around. His strength continuously soared. Faced with Wang Luocheng's provocation, he was of course unafraid. Now, he possessed absolute suppressive power over these few half-step rotating pills. If these few half-step rotating pills dared to strike at him, he dared to eradicate them. How is this possible? Wang Luocheng, who was once again blasted onto the ground, even smashing a huge pit into it, raised his head to look at Yichun in the void, with a face full of disbelief. When Yichun's first palm strike sent him flying, he thought he had been careless, but this time, when he was the one who took the initiative to attack, yet again he was directly suppressed by Yichun. He truly felt that the young man before him was undoubtedly stronger than him in terms of true qi power. To think that a youngster in the early stages of the Spirit Sea realm could have true qi even more terrifying than his own was completely unbelievable to Wang Luocheng. Grinding his teeth, Wang Luocheng burst forth from the deep pit once more. I don't believe it, your true qi is powerful, but are your martial skills comparable to mine at the half-step rotating pill? Wind-slicing 36 sabers. Slay for me. As Wang Luocheng's words fell, a huge precious saber suddenly appeared in his hands. Wang Luocheng, holding the saber, leapt into the air, and with a slash through the void, swish, 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 36 huge saber qi blades, each over tens of meters long, descended from the sky, chopping down towards Yichun in the void. Wang Luocheng, who fell short in the clash of true qi, exerted his martial skills might. Yichun, looking at the sky filled with slashing saber lights, was neither sorrowful nor joyful. Just as the 36 immense saber qi blades enveloped the entire sky and were about to explosively chop down above Yichun's head, Yichun suddenly vanished from the void. The next moment, Yichun abruptly appeared behind Wang Luocheng. This was the void instantaneous change, divine skill. With void instantaneous change, within the 20 miles embraced by his spiritual sense, Yichun could move instantaneously at will. Half-step rotating pill Wang Luocheng, who had not stepped into the rotating pill realm, was unable to sense the void through the 5 great heavenly laws and, of course, could not detect Yichun's instantaneous movement, nor could he strike Yichun. As his 36 tremendous saber qi slashes thunderously chopped onto the ground, causing it to explode and collapse, he suddenly felt a deadly killing intent. This deadly killing intent was actually coming from behind him. While sensing this deadly killing intent, Wang Luocheng also heard the gasps of all the onlookers from afar. Then, A trembling sensation spread throughout his entire body, as if his soul was trembling. This was the trembling sensation of death. His soul sensed the threat of death. Just as Wang Luocheng turned his head, he saw a sword light of utmost brilliance stabbing toward him from behind. Boom! In that moment between life and death, Wang Luocheng mobilized all his true qi, twisting his body to the extreme and turning halfway. Whoosh! The radiant sword light, dragging a streak of blood, grazed Wang Luocheng's body, tearing away a large chunk of flesh and splashing droplets of blood. Yi Chen's void instantaneous change was exceptionally fast, and even though Wang Luocheng dodged in a moment of life and death, he was still unable to completely avoid it and was injured. Wang Luocheng, his flesh sliced and spirit shocked, had previously vowed to kill Yi Chen and those few mid-spirit sea realm martial artists. Now he experienced a sense of death, feeling as if he could be slain at any moment by the small fry he had not taken seriously before. He had intended to get rid of a few people to seize more treasures, but now, was he to be the first to be removed? As this thought flashed through Wang Luocheng's mind, he suddenly realized that Yi Chen facing him had disappeared again. The next moment, a shocking sword beam burst toward his Qi-Si acupoint. This time, Wang Luocheng, already shocked and in great pain, was unable to dodge the sword beam that was even faster than the previous one. With a tuft, the sword beam instantly penetrated his Qi-Si acupoint, tearing through his spirit sea. Wang Luocheng's spirit sea shattered, and the immense spiritual liquid true qi cultivated within his body instantly dissipated into the void as rolling true qi. Wang Luocheng, who had incessantly demanded that martial artists of lower realms cripple their own spirit seas, ended up with his spirit sea destroyed first. As his spirit sea burst apart, Wang Luocheng became utterly stupefied. Standing there dazed, Yi Chen, who had performed void instantaneous change, reappeared. Yi Chen reappeared above the ground. But this time he materialized. The battle between the two had truly ended in defeat for one and victory for the other. Chapter 200, The Black Pearl. Outside the battlefield, 21 Spirit Sea late-stage powerhouses, the remaining 5 half-step rotating pill experts, and 5 Spirit Sea mid-stage warriors watched the two combatants. One standing foolishly after his Spirit Sea was shattered, and the other disappearing then reappearing in an extraordinary manner. None of them could utter a single word. But in every one of their minds, there was a thunderous explosion. This Spirit Sea beginner stage Yi Chen had truly defeated the half-step rotating pill master Wang Luocheng. He had completely ruined Wang Luocheng's Spirit Sea. When Wang Luocheng had decisively moved to deal with Yi Chen and the others, Yi Chen declared he would end Wang Luocheng's ancient tomb exploration journey. Everyone still thought Yi Chen was clueless about the strength of a half-step rotating pill expert and was just bragging. Now it seemed that Yi Chen had long been absolutely confident he could suppress Wang Luocheng. No wonder this young Spirit Sea beginner stage youth had always been so calm. He actually possessed such formidable strength. When Yi Chen shattered Wang Luocheng's Spirit Sea and reappeared, looking towards them outside the field, those half-step rotating pill experts who had been ready to attack Yi Chen hastily retreated several steps. Facing Yi Chen's unfathomably swift movements and powerful qi, these half-step rotating pill experts no longer had the confidence to challenge him. Even they worried whether Yi Chen would target them next, knowing that even if they joined forces they might be able to suppress Yi Chen, but in a real fight undoubtedly some of them would end up like Wang Luocheng, defeated outright. These half-step rotating pill experts didn't even have the courage to look Yi Chen in the eye anymore. As for the others, who hadn't spoken of eliminating Yi Chen before, they were not scared that Yi Chen would trouble them, but their gazes towards Yi Chen were likewise filled with dread towards a powerful being. Even though they were Spirit Sea late-stage powerhouses, at this moment, they all revered and feared this young man. This Yi Chen. I'm afraid his strength could match Fairy Nishang from our sect. Definitely one of the strongest few who entered the ancient tomb this time. An ordinary half-step rotating pill expert is definitely not his match. Within our 4th sea island, he will surely be able to make it to the center of the giant island. The 5 late-stage Spirit Sea female disciples from the moon-concealing sect looked at Yi Chen with bright eyes, having never seen such a powerful youth. To think that at the Spirit Sea beginner stage, he could have such formidable strength. And those 5 mid-stage Spirit Sea warriors, who had been prepared for certain death, upon seeing that Wang Luocheng, who had first come out to block their path, had his spirit sea shattered by Yi Chun, suddenly felt as if they had escaped from a desperate situation, and when they looked at Yi Chun again, their eyes were full of gratitude. It seemed that the others also didn't dare to make another move. Yi Chun, by ruining Wang Luocheng's cultivation, had effectively saved their lives. In the midst of countless gazes, Yi Chun turned his head towards Wang Luocheng. After having his spirit sea destroyed, Wang Luocheng seemed unable to accept the outcome and appeared foolish. But as Yi Chun looked at him, his heart did not ripple in the least. Wang Luocheng's earlier ruthlessness, Yi Chun had experienced firsthand. If he had not been strong enough, he feared he would have been ruined much worse than just having his spirit sea destroyed. Wang Luocheng might have genuinely taken his life and those of the other 5 mid-stage spirit sea warriors. Such a ruthless person deserved no leniency. Destroying his spirit sea was the consequence of his own actions. Upon seeing Wang Luocheng, who had come out to threaten and eliminate them, turned into this sorry state, Yi Chun shook his head, ready to leave. At that moment, a wooden plaque on Wang Luocheng's body suddenly shot towards Yi Chun. Whoosh! In an instant, the wooden plaque flew into Yi Chun's hand. With the wooden plaque that had suddenly flown to him in his hand, Yi Chun frowned and looked at it. Then, before Yi Chun's eyes, the plaque suddenly transformed into a small black bead. Accompanying the plaque's transformation into a black bead, as if guiding information about the ancient tomb exploration like before, the black bead began emitting strands of textual information that surged into Yi Chun's mind. After absorbing these texts, Yi Chun's eyebrows tensely furrowed. A moment later, with a clench of his hand, he crushed the black bead in his grasp. Then, with a step into the void, he flew into the sky. Other people noticed the wooden plaque from Wang Luocheng's body shooting towards Yi Chun, but they didn't realize it had transformed into a black bead. They assumed Yi Chun had directly taken the wooden plaque into his hand. Now, seeing Yi Chun ascend, everyone's gaze turned towards him in the sky. Yi Chun looked down at the crowd, his gaze fixed on those half-step rotating pill experts, and he slowly said, "The remaining 32 of us will vie for the 10 spots to enter the central giant island, everyone on their own merit. If I encounter anyone else using their position to attempt murder, I won't hesitate to act again." Boom! Yi Chun's words caused the complexions of those who had supported Wang Luocheng to change, and they all shook their heads with bitter smiles. "No more! The 5 of us half-step rotating pill experts, 10 spots are enough for us. As for the treasures, let's rely on our fortunes to acquire them." Hearing these half-step rotating pill experts' intentions, it was clear they were intimidated by Yi Chun. Hearing Yi Chun speak and the responses of the other half-step rotating pill experts, the 5 mid-stage spirit sea warriors felt a sudden release of the heavy pressure on their hearts. Clearly, Yi Chun was backing them up. "Thank you, brother Yi Chun." They couldn't help but salute Yi Chun with a fist while standing on the ground.